like moving around. I like moving around. I like moving around.
In the sport of boxing, when Floyd Mayweather fights, it is a spectacle.
Got your hat. Got your hat. That's my brother, bro.
Got your fucking hat.
When your idols become your rivals, that shit sucks. I'm looking Floyd in his beady little eyes at the press conference, and I'm like, this is one of the greatest boxers of our generation. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him.
We got the once defeated versus the undefeated. I go online, yo, you're gonna get your fucking ass beat. You're gonna die in the ring. Yo, the motto for this fight is fuck everyone.
Pro-ass fight against the best fighter on the planet. Suck my dick.
Live from the Versace Mansion in Miami, Florida. Bienvenidos a Miami. Hello, everyone. It is time for the Mayweather versus Paul Media Availability Day. A media day, I guess you could call it. Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell, we are combat sports analysts from CBS Sports, here to take you through today. Well, what's it going to be like, BC? Is it going to be mayhem? Is it going to be mystery? What are you anticipating for this event?
Well, you know, Morning Combat had to take its talents to South Beach to cover a fight this big that has crossed over so much. And what can we expect today? Oh, I mean, I don't know if you were here for May 6th, Got Your Hat. There's some fireworks in the build to this fight, no matter whether you're giving Logan Paul a chance or not against the retired pound-for-pound king and Floyd Mayweather. So I expect some fun, some high energy today. And you know, Luke, I did always want to know how the other half lived, and today I found out the other half lives sitting in their own fluids. So, you know, so far it's been a good adjustment.
I was asking you what to anticipate. I'm going to put heat stroke on that list among a series of other ailments we'll probably suffer, given we're 41 years of age. Okay, but in all seriousness, here's how this is going to go down. You can see behind us, depending on how the shot shows, we're here at the Versace, by the way, it's pronounced Versace Mansion. They're very...
you say tomato, I say Chardonnay.
They get on you about that. We're going to take you through. Floyd Mayweather's going to come through, I think, second. Logan Paul should come through first. We are anticipating, as you can see, maybe you can hear, the boxing and MMA media. It's like the Mos Eisley Cantina up in here. They're all over here. Floyd and Logan are going to come through.
However, we do serve droids here. There's no question about that.
We absolutely do
Schmo
serve droids.
is here. All the celebrities are here.
This is the way. But they're going to come through over here. They'll have about a 10-minute each discussion with the media. They'll face off. There may be some craziness, Jerry Springer-esque, we don't know, but then they'll come and sit down here with us. We'll talk to them. It'll be fun, right?
It'll be fun. And I love that you made the Jerry Springer joke, because let's be honest, this fight is combat sports. It's within the extended family, but we've never seen a fight like this in boxing specifically, where 44-year-old Floyd Mayweather could reach into such a smaller audience and create, Luke, a fight that it's really hard to break down from the traditional boxing lens, because not a lot that surrounds this fight is traditional boxing. You've called it, let's say, the pro wrestling of boxing. And we don't mean to put out there that anything you see in the ring come Sunday night isn't going to be real. It is. But it's got a pro wrestling feel to the build, to the promotion, to the rivalry between fighters that it may not be your personal cup of tea, and I know you. I know how you get down. But a guy like me, Luke, I grew up eating in gas stations. This has been fun and wild. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, a couple of things to keep in mind. One, if Showtime thinks I'm turning this back in, I'm not. I'm keeping it.
The tags are still on, just so people know.
And I'm going to pawn it to pay tax bills, number one. Number two, I agree. This is an unusual weekend. For folks who may not know, we host a podcast called Morning Combat, and on that we get into the world of MMA and the world of boxing. And I have been critical of the idea of YouTube boxing, and not in the sense that people can't enjoy it, but you never know what it means. But here's what I do do know for this week, BC. The vibe here is Showtime Sports kind of meets Showtime Entertainment. We saw that Showtime had announced Jesus and Merrill, along with Brian Custer, are going to be working the desk. That's a perfect marriage between the two elements. That's what you're getting here, I think, a little bit. You're getting a little bit of sports, a little bit of entertainment. Listen, I am a stickler. I am a purist. I want to talk about pound for pound. I want to talk about who's got the best jab. I want to talk about the best welterweights of all time. But sometimes you just gotta have a little fun. Stop taking yourself too seriously, and don't dive heat stroke in a Versace
How
rope.
dare you leave professional comedian Brendan Schaub off that? He'll be the roving reporter come fight night. But another part, or maybe really the central part of what makes this fight so unique, and what we want to talk to both fighters about, Luke, and why we've never really seen something like this, is Floyd is a career welterweight who fought at junior middleweight, fought as high as 151.5 pounds, I believe, was the weight he came in against Canelo Alvarez. But he's fighting a guy who could be 40 to 50 pounds heavier, who's 6 inches taller, the reach is 4 inches longer, the age is 18 years younger. Again, at the end of the day, we don't know if that means anything. But has Floyd ever went to training camp, except for against the Big Show at WrestleMania 24, where he had to really deal with something like this?
We're going to see. I watched the special Showtime put together, the half-hour package that sets the sort of table for this fight. You're right about how much bigger Logan is. Obviously, you've seen him in person. You had the interview with him that's available, I believe, on the Showtime Sports YouTube channel where you're watching now. But beyond that, though, it's been funny to watch, despite some of the differences, Floyd's attitude about it, BC. Floyd has called it, on that special, legalized bank robbery. I tend to think that may not be exactly what this is, but I'm glad he's giving it that attitude. Listen, y'all want to pay me to do this? I will do this, but don't pretend it's anything that's not, according to Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, this may be different in a lot of ways than Floyd Mayweather's landmark 2017 crossover pay-per-view against former UFC champion Conor McGregor. This fight's a little bit different in a lot of reasons: experience, size, social media backgrounds, all that stuff.
Connor's a real fighter. I mean, there's a difference.
It's a continuation of what Floyd's trying to do. He retired effectively in 2015 in terms of the real retirement. He beat Manny Pacquiao. He beat Andre Berto. He walked away 49-0. He was the fighter of the year one more time in his late 30s across all of boxing. But if you're going to create these perfect foils for him, it's going to be hard for somebody who's that brand conscious, who's that into the legacy he's built, that, yeah, he says 50-0 and all that, but the legacy he's most happy with is he built the biggest events of this era, broke the pay-per-view records, was the richest athlete. As long as he will still be putting on a pair of gloves, he's going to be looking for fights exactly like this.
He looks to be his point is basically, this is Floyd's perspective. Floyd's perspective is, I don't have to do anything other than not be in a car crash and I should win. That's really his view, right? I mean, he can just basically walk in there and do it. And, dude, Floyd's probably right. I mean, I don't know why that's a crazy thing to say. You see all these training camps of Logan Paul training hard, and I have no doubt. Even Floyd said in the documentary piece, you can keep training like Ivan Drago. He is training like Ivan Drago. He's training very hard, but you got to do that for 30 years to be on the level that Floyd is. But you did mention something about the differences. We should talk about the rules for this fight. There actually are some rules. It's worth understanding for the public. Now they're highly amended from how a professional contest would go. For example, when Floyd fought Conor, that was a pro boxing bout, so it had traditional pro boxing rules. This one has a lot of them, not all of them. Let's go through. First, it's going to have 8 rounds, 3 minutes a pop, right?
No headgear. This is a real fight from that standpoint.
From that standpoint, no judges, no official winner. But here's the difference between what you saw in some of these other exhibition contests that have happened in the last year or so and this one. This is in Florida. And really, it's, what do you want to say? They got meth-flavored bubblegum down here.
Put a little respect on the
delicious.
Florida
I had it. It's
Commission's, name.
In all seriousness,
this is an exhibition because you can't sanction a size disparity like this and an experience disparity.
Well, here's the deal. Florida is allowing knockouts. That was not the case with other exhibition bouts that have taken place this year. So I don't know how it works. If you knock someone out, you can't be declared the official winner. Perhaps they will do so anyway. But if you're asking, can Floyd go in there and stretch him or vice versa, the answer is yes, they are allowed to.
And look, that's a big part of a fun carnival fight like this. Being respectful, but it is. It's a circus. It's a bazaar. It's something that, again, I'm into, is fans want to have that chance for that resolution of a knockout. Why? Not only do the chicks still dig knockouts, last time I checked, but also with this kind of fun, Luke, it's you want it to be as over the top and ridiculous as it can be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you want to see,
but also you got to deliver
the train wreck ending and the deliver in the crossover there. And as much as we want to get into the difference in age and size and all that other stuff, it's still two grown men fighting at the end of the day. Still, anything can happen in there. And we're coming here to be entertained. But I know we can't spend 2 hours breaking down the X's and O's, but, like, Floyd has to train hard. I don't care what you think of Logan Paul for that possibility against a bigger guy like that.
Here's what Floyd, I think, has to do. It doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter who your opponent is. If they throw a hard enough punch and if it lands, there is no magic in this world. It counts. It could count, not for points in this particular case because there are no judges, but Logan Paul is a big, strong kid. Whatever else you want to say about him, he's a big, strong kid. If he connects clean, that is something that that Mayweather's going to have to reconcile. On the other hand, BC, we got to, I don't know exactly what no cap means. I think I have some idea, even though I'm completely washed.
You mean gotcha hat? Is that where you're going with it?
Here's what I want to say about that. Okay, but dude, Floyd's been retired for some time. No doubt about it. But the best pro boxers in his era had a hard time landing clean on him. You can't lose sight of that. I don't care how long the guy's been retired. That's just a fact.
Yeah, and look, we're both combat sports veterans. I'm a boxing veteran. It's obviously going to be hard for me to, like, outright make a case or an avenue to victory for Logan Paul. It's got to be something.
You just don't want to dismiss him.
It's got to be something wild and crazy, but you cannot dismiss a guy who's, an athlete, 28 years old, has a decorated high school football and amateur wrestling background. Thank you. I'll raise that up a little higher there. The sweat is pushing down the
I understand.
Right
I feel you, player.
And a guy who's going to at least take this opportunity. May not feel serious from the build-up when we do Gotcha Hat and the jokes, and Logan Paul is a self-proclaimed troll and all that. But if you're going to take it serious, you're going to put your best foot forward, knowing the danger in there. He's done that. Both brothers, Jake Paul, his younger brother, who of course just signed with Showtime Sports and has a big fight coming up. They're both in there with professional trainers, top-level sparring partners, boxing people. They're doing it the right way. You're not going to be able to vouch for their actual ability level until they keep challenging themselves. And both are doing that to a high degree in each of their next two fights. We're going to find out a lot about it.
I actually feel like they're not doing it the right way, but the question is the old way of the right way the only way? If you were doing it the right way, what would happen is you would take small fights in the middle of nowhere that a trainer would find for you against another person who's got a commensurate level of experience, and you work your way up slowly. But these guys have a ton of celebrity. They want to skip that part to see if they can. They're trying to find, in the case of Logan Paul and his brother Jake, they're trying to find an unorthodox, frankly, totally untested method. Can you actually get good at boxing late in life, not doing it the normal way through the amateur system and whatnot? Probably not is the answer. The question is, here's what Logan has to do. Dude, let's just stop. Logan Paul doesn't have to win to have the victory, so to speak. All he's got to do is land one good shot. One good shot. And he can take it, he just can't get stretched. That's the key. Just don't get stretched.
I mean, that's a fair point. And it's bizarre. It's bizarre to a traditional boxing head. But it's also one of those, what the hell's that going to look like? And the point, I really wanted to say, connected to all this, is that both guys are so polarizing. So the fans, of course, are going to want to come into a fun spectacle like this and hope we can see a knockout, and at least that's part of the rule set for this being an exhibition bout. But, they're so polarizing that who's going to be the babyface? Who are the people that are putting down the money for Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Showtime pay-per-view for bragging rights? Are they paying in the hopes that Floyd gets stretched or Logan, or both at the same time? That's a big part of the appeal. Floyd built his second half of his run on the idea that I'm going to be as entertaining and flaunt everything. If you don't like me, that's fine. Make sure, though, that you make that payment to the pay-per-view distributor to make sure you see me fight.
Right, no doubt about it. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think in the case of Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, Tyron, for folks who may not know him from the boxing audience, has one of the most decorated UFC welterweight champions ever. That's 170 pounds in MMA. Certainly has had a rough run at the end of his career. I think, though, he will be the guy that's the babyface between the two of them. If I do say so myself, BC, he's kind of taken on this mantle as the one who's going to shut the Paul brothers up. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. But he might get that. But you're right. In this particular case, it's a little bit of just different communities clashing. And I think I asked Floyd Sr. this. I covered Floyd versus Canelo, and I covered Floyd versus Pacquiao in person. And I remember at Floyd Pacquiao, I talked to Floyd Sr., who outspoken is, I think, a fair way to put it. He said, I want people to see this? They want to see strange things. Okay, Logan Paul is here. And I believe we're going to throw to him now, walking in.
People may not know, we are actually steps from the world-famous South Beach. So it's tropical here. It's fun. And the the temperature in the room just changed, however you want to say that.
So to set this up, the pool is behind us. The media is right here. They stretch all the way down. Yeah, you can see the overhead shot there. If you look, Floyd and Logan are going to come down to the left of your screen where the hashtag is and the letter B. They're going to come through there. They'll talk to the media. They'll have a face-off. Then they're going to come and sit through here and talk to us, too, if we don't sweat too badly.
I haven't seen you this happy sitting in your own fluid since infancy, Luke, right?
That's a fair way to put it. You know, yes, I wouldn't disagree with that too much.
Some days you just wake up in the mirror, though. It's not every day of the year, and you just look in the camera and say, "This is where I'm meant to be."
All right, here comes.
Meant to be here with Logan Paul on the way in.
I certainly am. Have been nothing but critical of him, and now I have to be nice. Okay, here comes Logan Paul in right now. You can see him walking down the stairs here. He's going to curve around this direction to his right eventually, and then whip in front of the media. I don't know exactly what shots we're going to have of this. Your guess is as good as mine, but then he will come sit with us.
26 years old, Luke, has a combined just over 29 million YouTube subscribers, not counting what else he does across.
Is that more than my 150,000?
Yeah, that's a lot. So there'll be a lot of interest, of course, on this fight. Native of Westlake, Ohio, 0-1 technically as a professional, had that 2-fight, 1 amateur.
How long before someone steps right in the middle of us here?
I mean, it's coming here, Luke.
It's probably inevitable.
With the thickness of this robe, I feel like I can fight off anybody here, all right?
Yeah.
So, Logan is good in front of the cameras. Luke, I spent a day with him last week in training camp in Puerto Rico with him. And look, obviously puts in the 100% effort, trains hard, takes this seriously, even if he's not taking the interview he's a part of seriously and cracking jokes. But he's a face of a new generation here. He believes in his size difference, Luke. One thing I'm hearing, though, when talking to him, when talking to his trainer, Milton LaCroix, on the record, I hear a lot of, we're going to outbox Floyd.
Yeah, see, that's where he loses me.
And then finish him in the 6th round. Is that a warning sign? Canelo tried that, different circumstances, and look what happened.
I just don't think that needs to be the game plan. The game plan needs to be Three Stooges. I'm not saying gouge his eyes out. I'm not saying, kick him in the nether regions. I'm saying play with the lines a little bit where the referee has to intervene, where the referee has to... The pace of the fight is hectic and crazy and weird, and it throws someone off their game. But, just trying to outbox Floyd? Okay, good luck.
Well, tied to Logan Paul is a question that I think is connected to what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, or Sunday night's fight. It's his brother, Jake Paul. We know he's going to fight in August to make his Showtime pay-per-view debut against former UFC champion Tyron Woodley. But he's played a big role in this promotion for his brothers with the whole gotcha hat. Is he going to swoop in here and push somebody in the pool? Do you see him from here on out having any role in his brother's fight against Floyd Mayweather?
Well, he's not banned from the fight, which I thought he might have been given how things went at the media day. Okay, that tells us we can take the robes off if we want. Maybe we don't want to.
Yeah, maybe I want to keep them on. Maybe I like to feel this way.
But
maybe
yes,
I like to look like country time.
Here's the thing about Floyd. Again, he called it legalized bank robbery. Not only is he going to fight this guy, his brother is in waiting, and especially if his brother beats Tyron Woodley, which, by the way, he is, by some odds makers, favored to do. Dude, you're setting up another one. I mean, again, you can like these or you can hate these, but they're here, and I have a Versace robe on, so...
It's very interesting, though, that Jake played the role of instigator in this build. Maybe that is it a Danny Garcia, Angel Garcia thing where his dad and trainer is louder and more provocative? I mean, Logan can be loud and provocative, but Danny always says it takes the pressure off of me. It's at least worth thinking about as we transition here, Luke.
So they're telling us we can actually throw to this scrum you're seeing between the media and Logan Paul. Let's hear what Logan Paul has to say.
Yeah, she's a little concerned about me boxing in general. But nah, she knows what her son's capable of. She knows I can do it.
Can you give her a calming message against the camera?
Hey, Mom, I love you. I got this.
Out of the shot, out of the way.
Yeah, got you.
That's what's happening. All right, we're going to turn around. We're going to do Sky Sports.
What up? How you doing? It's my favorite. Smoky little Sky Sports mic. Fantastic. You happy with it?
Right here?
Yeah.
But you can look at me. Oh, cool. You happy, Ollie? Yeah. Logan, if you beat Floyd Mayweather on Sunday night, are you the new king of boxing?
Nah, I'm not. I'm just Logan.
Has Floyd ever fought anyone as strong as you? Will he be surprised when it gets up close and personal and you clinch?
No chance. Always. Dude, there's a moment that goes through every fighter's mind. Everyone we spar, everyone Jake's beat, when we hit them and they realize, he might not just do YouTube. This guy really put his heart and soul into this, and I hit hard. And I think you're going to see Floyd's eyes light up the first time I hit him, yeah.
You're a former wrestler. If it does get physical, are you prepared to put Floyd Mayweather in his place?
For Floyd's sake, let's hope it doesn't get physical, yeah.
We've seen the rules. It doesn't say anything about disqualification. Could it get ugly in there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a fight. It's a fight, and the rules are, I don't know, kind of broad. Anything could happen, yeah.
The gloves have changed from 12 ounces to 10. Does that suit you? Are you more confident now than ever that you knocked Floyd Mayweather out?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know why they changed it. It was 10, then it changed to 12. Now we're back to 10. Good, that's how I want it.
You said yesterday Tyson Fury was your favorite fighter.
Love him.
Would you like to train with him one day?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's here in Miami. Yeah, I might hit him up, spar a little bit.
You strike me as a man who knows how to throw a party. What plans do you have if you beat Floyd Mayweather on Sunday night?
I don't know, but the last time I was at this mansion, we were having a party. Who knows? One thing at a time,
And just finally, do you have a message for the fans in the UK who'll be watching this fight on Sky Sports Box Office?
Yeah, I love all of you. Thanks for staying up as late as you did. I promise not to disappoint.
Thank you, Logan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Logan. Tell him to go right here if this is the camera.
Good, thank you. That's a fucking big fan. Damn.
We're going, Papa.
Ready?
Ready. We're rolling.
3, 2.
Bien, ahí estamos aquí con Logan. Logan, welcome to Miami, compadre. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good, man. You've been training in Puerto Rico,
yeah,
right?
I've been brushing up on my Spanish. You ready?
Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo está, mi amigo?
Bien, compadre. ¿Y tú?
Bien, muy bien.
¿Vas a ganar?
Ay, bendito.
Exacto. Ay, bendito is a very Boricua word.
Yeah. As you can see, I pretty much know nothing still.
Don't worry, man. Hey, Miami, Hard Rock Stadium is a big place to be.
That's what they're saying.
And Floyd's saying, this is the biggest robbery in the history.
I know.
Well, actually, think about it. You're doing the robbery because he's the pro boxer.
Yeah, I finessed everyone. Everyone here just got finessed, including Floyd. And to be honest, Floyd Mayweather can play it off all he wants, but we know he's working hard, He knows how big this event is. He does not want to lose.
I know. Logan, you're very young, right? Honestly, what do you think is going to happen in the first
We'll hear
round?
more from Logan Paul as he continues down the red carpet, but we got a chance to talk with maybe the most unsung man in terms of the strategy building for this fight, Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell. Of course, we've got Milton LaCroix, the trainer for Logan Paul. And one thing I want to ask you straight up, because we talked about this when you guys were walking in, maybe a little critically. We hear you guys talking a lot about outboxing.
Yeah, that's a tall order, man.
Is that the right strategy? Has history taught us anything here?
I got to do one thing.
Into your mic.
I got to do one thing. Live, it's Showtime with Brian and Luke.
There he is.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, sir.
I'm here.
Yes, sir.
And Logan's tall, long, and lanky. Floyd is short, arm and length shorter. So it's a David and Goliath, but we're going to outbox the greatest boxer on the planet.
I mean, that's like walking into Houdini's house and trying to disappear, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
This I gotta be honest. It's a little like who was the Lamar Ball or what was his name?
Yeah.
Going there saying he could beat MJ on
he's
one-on-one.
undefeated technically, LeVar Ball.
Yeah,
right?
it's a little bit of that.
I mean, well, listen, like Grace Vanderwall said, anything's possible.
It is certainly possible. He is a big, strong kid, right?
So
you got to love the confidence. If you're going to get to this stage,
I will say that. He
and
is
put
confident.
your name and your
He is
face on
confident.
the line, you better have the huevos, as we say,
Okay,
to
we
back
got the
that up
balls.
here.
We got listen,
But
yeah.
look, I know the question that you were probably going to ask was probably technical and boring. Do you know what people really want to know
What do they
about
wanna
this
know?
fight, the build to Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather Sunday night? Who has the damn hat? Got your hat. Who
LeVar
got
Ball
it right
is the
now?
name. LeVar Ball.
Team, Logan Paul is saying they have it. Floyd's team says he has it. Is Jake going to parachute in with it on? Where's the damn white hat of note here?
well, there's the question. We don't know what Jake's going to do, so that's going to be a surprise.
You guys, was he part of the camp at all?
Jake?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course. Jake moved out to Puerto Rico and...
I mean, but what I guess what I mean to say is, are they sparring partners?
No. They never sparred against each other. I wouldn't let that happen when I was training both of them.
Why not?
In the beginning. They're brothers, and it's always a rivalry, and it's always kind of crazy. So I really never let... I train a lot of brothers, and I never let them spar. Because if one brother gets advantage of the other brother, then there's going to be more hell to pay down the line.
I see. So they can't be good students if they're too worried about getting the one-up on their brother.
So that's the problem. And they always have rivalries coming up. So I didn't want to add one more rivalry to their rivalry, so I just never let them spar.
How seriously do you think Floyd's taking this? There were some promotional photos. For a retired fighter, having abs still, that's pretty impressive. But he's not nearly in the condition he was, let's say, for the Pacquiao or whatever fight.
Were they airbrushed or were they real abs?
I mean, he looked to be in okay shape. I don't think that's too crazy.
To the microphone so we can hear your best material
I'm sorry.
there, Coach.
Okay. Well, listen, Floyd is Floyd. It's really funny. As I was out here on South Beach a while back, and a whole bicycle brigade went by, and Floyd was one of them. I mean, there was about like 16 people on a bicycle, and Floyd was one of the people in the bike brigade. Then he's in Aruba. Then he's here. Floyd could be anywhere, almost like me. I am everywhere. But the problem is, this is a fight. They say it's an exhibition. I've never seen an 8-round exhibition. We're going 3-minute rounds. So something's going to get real. And what's going to get real is June 6th, the heat's going to fly and the hands are going to go, and somebody's always going to go.
How long do you think it goes?
You want my real prediction?
100%.
We do.
Floyd, and everybody's going to think I'm retarded and probably crazy, which I am because I'm working with Logan Paul. So you have to be kind of cuckoo to join this crew. I think Floyd quits in 6.
Oh,
wow!
That is a
bold statement.
I got to tell you, that's bolder than this robe I'm wearing. I mean, that is incredible.
Well, I might go after that robe next.
Yeah, fair enough. I wouldn't blame you.
Well, I'm saying that for one or two reasons. Is that if we do start landing punches, and we do start connecting, and we do hit him with a few pieces, Logan's heavy-handed. Logan got power, and Floyd might kind of feel the wrath and go, "Wow, I think." This guy's really a heavy hitter. So I don't want to really, I just feel he's going to put too much heat on him. And when you can't take the heat, you got to get out the kitchen. So one way or the other.
And they train in the heat. I've been in that gym. Yeah. I was sweating twice as worse as right now.
I saw the footage.
So if you, like I said, if you're playing around, running around all over L.A., Aruba, here, there, everywhere, up the street and down the stairs, and you ain't taking it seriously, the young lion might wind up getting the old goat.
How much are you guys liking that, playing into that, the fact that traditional boxing, which is very slow to open the door to outsiders, right? They don't even want to give Logan credit if they went out and saw him outbox Canelo tomorrow, right? But how much are you guys bathing in that no one's giving you a chance in hell, so there's no pressure?
Listen, nobody never gave me a chance. Okay, everybody always said my style's crazy. We're fighting with our hands down. There's no way in the world you're going to win. But 60-odd Golden Gloves later, a few Olympians, about 3 to 5 world champions. I got to be doing something right.
What's the difference between training someone, like imagine you had a totally established fighter, let's say they had 30 wins, and they want to just fine-tune some things. What's the difference between a guy like that when they walk into your gym and someone like Logan who's, in fairness, a lot more raw material?
Well, Logan was very raw, but the best... You're my biggest fan? Hey, I got a fan.
Coach LaCroix has fans.
He has the same T-shirt as you. I don't think he's your actual fan.
I got a better idea. Look, that's my biggest fan.
That is not on, by the way.
The fan,
not on.
the fan that's not working at the moment.
So, okay, Logan and Jake did not know how to box. Didn't know a fish hook from a left hook. So my style was easy. I could take Stevie Wonder in 3 months and teach him how to box.
Yeah?
Literally. I could do that. But a lot of people don't understand how I do it. And
I feel like there's different kinds of coaches in boxing, and there's some that focus on one end, and there's another one that specializes in that. Let's get some Olympic amateurs going.
Here's a little funny scenario. Angelo Dundee, Vince Lombardi. A lot of these guys never played football, but they are the most famous, known coaches in the world.
Right.
Well, Vince was an All-American in college. Let's put a little respect on that.
Okay, but like college ball, pro ball, is a big gap.
Right. Did he play pro football?
I don't think he lasted long if he did. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
And then,
but I'm saying, he became a legend at football. Okay, maybe my time is coming. It's my time to shine. Maybe I'm going to take Logan and do something that 50 people tried to do and they couldn't do it. Okay, we have height. A giant sometimes can't beat a little giant. Okay, we got reach. Floyd don't have the reach. and we're gonna beat Floyd at his own game.
Okay, what about this? This was my idea. I feel like I'm not saying you want to go in there and be a dirty boxer. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, don't you want to disrupt Floyd's comfortability enough where you're grabbing, you're overhooking, pushing, pulling, kind of towing that line a little bit of not committing fouls, but causing some disruption.
Knee him in the cup, talk bad about it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, listen, Floyd already made a few mistakes talking about negative stuff. We're not here about negative. We're here about positive. It's not a black and white thing. It's just two fighters getting in the ring.
No, I just mean like, you can't. I'm not saying eye poke him or kick him in the balls, but I'm saying, rough him up a little bit within the rules.
If Floyd decides to start chasing Logan, and we grab him and kind of like get off me, remember, we got a wrestler going against a boxer. Sometimes wrestlers, when they grab you, they know how to lock. They know how to hold you. They know how to twist and turn you. So anything is possible. Anything.
All right, what do you need to see in the first minute of the first round to give you the confidence that Logan's ready to execute? You can make a nice recipe. Right. I can't cook for anything, though. Ask my wife. All right?
I can't cook neither. But you're right. You do have a recipe. You can cook it, and I can put the extra salt on it. But the problem is, the first round, we're looking to see what Floyd does. If Floyd does what I hope he does, then we know we're in for a good night. Logan just has to go in and do what he's been training to do. We got in the ring with Jean Pascal. We got in the ring with a lot of top quality fighters, good Puerto Rican fighters out of Puerto Rico. I mean, some kids are undefeated. This kid 10-0. Patrick Cota, 10-0. 7 knockouts. A little bit bigger than Logan. It was like, wow. Logan steps up to the plate when he has to. He rises to the occasion. He rises to his competition.
Teach that, Luke.
You certainly can't. By the way, it does seem like, obviously I'm not in Puerto Rico, it does seem like, based on what I have from the footage that Showtime put out, it seems like he's well-liked down in Puerto Rico. There was the photo of the kid who was in jail. They let him out because he was friends with Logan.
That's the kid I was talking about, Patrick Cota. He got arrested for something stupid. And he was going through his thing, and the guy looks at him and says, he goes, I'm a boxer. Look, I'm training with Logan. They go, you know Logan Paul? He goes, yeah. He goes, hey, okay, don't worry about it. We'll get you out of here in a few minutes. And he got out. Logan...
Law and order down there in Puerto Rico.
But Logan is looking to do good things in Puerto Rico. He likes Puerto Rico. They're going there. We're building a little gym in Puerto Rico, and hopefully we can help. We already started helping the guy where we're training at. I'm building stuff in his gym. I'm doing stuff for him. I'm donating stuff because I just don't want to get anything for nothing, but we want to help. And I'm Puerto Rican myself, so Boricua, ¿qué pasa? I'm a Latin from Manhattan, but hey, from Carolina.
So you're a New York-Rican then?
I'm a New York-Rican, as they say in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Or New York-Rican.
That's awesome. The hat, I'm everywhere. What is that?
Hey, you can find me everywhere, especially on the Lower East Side. I'm from the Lower East Side of New York, and my guy, Freaky Fridge, came up with this.
If you know somebody named Freaky Fridge,
if you don't know Freaky Fridge,
I'm hanging out with you.
Wait, if you don't know, now you know.
Freaky Fridge, that's the greatest name I've ever heard.
Greatest guy, credible. He came up with this design, and I was just at my mother's restaurant, Casa de Adela in Lower East Side, and I said, Freaky, like everybody, Milton's here. So everybody came out, saw me right before we moved to Puerto Rico, and Freaky Fridge came and bring me, like shirts and hats and everything. And I was like, thanks. And all of a sudden, I put the hat on. I'm everywhere because I do go everywhere. Yes. You can find me everywhere and anywhere. Puerto Rico, Sweden, London, anywhere.
How is the mofongo at that restaurant?
If you want to go, I'm going to tell you the address. You go down to Casa de Adela.
I'm going.
The food is, the meat falls off the bone.
Okay.
The food is so great.
You don't have to sell me on Puerto Rican food in the Lower East Side. You don't have to sell me.
This man, Milton LaCroix, is everywhere. I'm sweating everywhere. You're going to see him in the corner of one Logan Paul Sunday night. Mayweather, Paul bragging rights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You already know that, though. Best of luck to you, Coach. Great chat.
Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you very much.
I'll just give the fist bump here.
No problem.
All right. Thank you so much. And,
I appreciate
what you guys have for us on Sunday.
Okay. See you guys on Sunday.
All right. She'll take care of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There we are. All right. So this little reset here a little bit. We are at the Versace Mansion here in Miami, Florida. Brian Campbell, Luke Thomas are from CBS Sports, as well as Showtime. We are the hosts, by the way. We should probably plug it for at least a second.
Yeah.
We are the hosts of a show called Morning Combat, youtube.com/Morning Combat. It's a, what is it? It's like PTI for combat sports.
It's your combat sports home, boxing, MMA, all the big events. We got you covered 3 live shows per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. So a little plug for us there. But, Luke, obviously, it's like you get what we mentioned earlier. The traditional fans are like, we're going to keep talking about this all week. Well, yeah, we're going to keep talking about this all week because it's become the kind of combat sports lead story. You can't avoid it, Luke, because there's this much attention and this much star power. And I think of this much of, I don't know what it's going to look like for 44-year-old Floyd, and it's such a size disparity, age disparity, experience disparity. It's, it's like a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, Luke, okay? I got to see it, bro.
I don't know that it's a museum of human oddities. Perhaps it's not quite that. But, yes, it is certainly unusual. But this is the thing I always try to tell people. Listen, if you go back and you watch Morning Combat episodes, you will see I am highly critical of this sort of this outside the normal traditional kind of boxing content. But, one, the train's kind of left the station on it. That's the first. And second of all, as long as it's like a thing we're doing to have fun on the side and it's not the core of what we do, I don't really think it's that big a deal in terms of like upsetting the purists and everybody else. It doesn't. People have said, like, what does this say about boxing? I mean, it probably says on some level that, maybe if there's a way to make a Bud Crawford and Errol Spence fight, that we should maybe make it. Some of those fights have been a little bit missing, I think. But it does also say that you have seen, by the way, similar kinds of periods in MMA. There was something called the Kakutogi boom in Japan. This is true in the early aughts. And K1 put on Akibono versus Royce Gracie and whatnot. So a fellow combat sport has had part of this. Now, that one actually fizzled out and kind of took over that organization. So it's a little bit different. But this one, boxing's calendar is already announced, and they just put this on top. To me, it's you can have cake.
It's part of the universe. It's part of the universe of combat, which, that same universe included 54-year-old Mike Tyson coming back last year against Roy Jones for better or worse. It's all sort of part of the extended boxing community.
I love people just walking behind all comfortable, just comfortably walking into people's shops.
Someone's taking a drink in this pool behind me. If it's me in this robe, they might not be able to fish me out at the bottom there. This is pretty heavy, knocking stuff over.
It is pretty heavy.
But Logan Paul finishing up his rounds with the media, and I have been impressed, Luke. I don't know if you have, watching the at-length conversation I had with him in the gym or just seeing him. We talk about that intangible. Like, he's lived for this moment. I don't know if he's lived for boxing against Floyd Mayweather, but he has lived for this type of moment to continue to be a global face of something big. I don't see somebody who's scared, who's taking their chances lightly, even though everybody else is. I see somebody who's sort of like, wow, I kind of beat the game just to get to this point. I might as well have like an Evel Knievel meets Johnny Knoxville type level of just no fear, let's go after it.
It's actually a lot of work, too. I interviewed George St. Pierre, who has flirted with the idea of boxing. I interviewed him right before his retirement in the Johnny Hendricks fight. There's Leonard Ellerbe walking by, and some bodyguards who are the enormous men. But I interviewed George St. Pierre, BC, right before he retired, and he was so worn out from doing media. It's actually, listen, if you've got this kind of a job, you got to be grateful for your life and how well it's gone. But as you can see, I told you we're going to lose the set here. It's just going to happen. But I will also say that the ability to handle the pressure of doing media as the headliner, it's a metric ton
I mean, look at what a Cowboy Cerrone did against Conor McGregor, and then their big pay-per-view afterward. He said he crumbled on that pressure of living up to filling out that poster. A lot of guys have been excited to fight Floyd through the years in different type of bouts, and because they know it's a life-changing payday. It's a chance to test themselves against the best. How many times, though, Luke, has it been the pre-fight doc show or the weigh-in or some moment or when they first touch gloves in the center of the ring where you go, that guy don't want to be here. Like, this moment is too big for him to at least bring out the very best of himself. I don't know what the best of Logan Paul looks like, but I know we will see it at the very least.
It's funny. You know what he called himself in the video package that Showtime put together? He called himself, Logan Paul did, a delusional optimist. That was his word. We're going to be getting Logan's manager here, we're told, here in a few minutes. When that happens, obviously we'll talk to him here on set. But I will say, dude, listen, do I think he's got a great shot? No, I don't. I don't think that at all. But on the other hand, I do think that he believes he will. And that's actually a big difference maker.
Well, speaking of the brand of Logan Paul, it's been a big part of getting him. They've been very smart and maneuvered, and we have the manager of Logan Paul, Jeff Levin.
Say your name again. I'm sorry.
Jeff Levin.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Nice to meet you guys.
I'm seeing a little John Lennon vibe coming off of him right now, okay?
A little bit.
I appreciate that.
A little bit.
Pre-Jeff.
All right, so tell us, how'd you end up working with Logan Paul? How'd that happen?
I think it was like 7 years ago. Was working with a company that was protecting his assets on Vine and just saw his creative ability off of the app versus the other people that were on it. And he's a storyteller, truthfully, right? That's really what he's the best at and what he created his expertise on. So seeing that and coming from the entertainment world, blonde hair, blue eyes, all-American, Dean's List, like he's just the perfect specimen.
Best manager in the game.
I'm about to say, he says really nice things about you, Jesus.
He must get a good stipend, I think, at the end of the day, right?
I hope so. I hope so.
Hey, I think you're keeping this chair warm for him.
Of course.
Is it Maverick time right here?
Let's do it. Let's talk to the man in charge. We will talk to you later, though. We appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
All right, joining us now is one half of the main event, Logan Paul.
I'm
right
the
here.
full main event, bro. People come to see me, not
There
Floyd.
are two fighters in the main event. You are merely one of them. But how are you, Logan?
I guess statistically speaking,
50%.
that makes sense. I'm good. Are y'all hot?
We are sweating balls
I think
here.
we've reached like the runner's high where it just sucks, but you kind of live with it, you know?
Versace robes at the Versace mansion.
I mean, I've been in your gym. It's no different than that.
I know.
But
Skies
look,
out, thighs out, baby.
one thing we just gave you a lot of credit for, Logan Paul, is that you have seemed ready for this stage. Like, odds makers, opening lines or not, that you knew you would be here, whether it was Floyd Mayweather, whether it was any form of entertainment. How much has that full-on confidence that you flashed throughout the build to this changed at all now that we're on site and it's very real? And I know you told me you're not intimidated by Floyd, but the moment sometimes can be threatening just the same.
It's a great question. And I often have to ask myself, like, am I affected by this? You look around, you see all these people, the hot lights, the pressure. You want to do well, your friends are watching, your family's watching. And I always want to be real with myself. And I ask myself, am I affected by this? But I love this. I love this. This is me in my element. Like, this is what I came out to Hollywood to do when I started making videos. Like, when I started making fucking videos on YouTube, that was the cusp, the precipice for all this. Like, this is it. This is endgame. And so, like, this is what I signed up for. This is what I wanted. This is me in my element. I love this shit, man. All of it's exciting for me.
Kind of got me fired up.
Yeah, he certainly does. Let me ask you a question I thought kind of interesting. You grew up in Ohio. You wrestled in high school, right?
Yeah.
So I looked this up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your senior year, you placed 5th at States?
That's correct.
Did you wrestle anyone who was a super stud that went on to do something crazy? For folks who may not know, Ohio is a powerhouse of wrestling.
I did. I talk about him frequently.
Who?
His name is Dominic Abunator. They call him the Terminator.
And it was a bad scene.
He's a beast, dude. He's a 4-time
the size of Floyd's bodyguards,
state champ. Yeah. Yeah, he wrestles for Israel now, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
Or like a country, an entire country. He's good, man.
Here's what I'm confused about. Dude, if you got the base of wrestling, you could have gone straight to MMA. Like, you'd be doing a killing. Listen, the Trey's left the station. You're fighting Floyd Mayweather. Things are going okay.
I think he knows where the money is, Luke.
Yeah, things are going okay. But it is curious that a guy with that kind of background chose the opposite of that combative sport.
I didn't choose boxing. Boxing chose me. Seriously, I got challenged to box. I answered that challenge, then kind of fell perfectly into the sport. And truthfully, boxing's a bit easier on the body than MMA.
Is that right?
MMA's fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of injuries.
I got bad knees. I'm old now. Like, boxing, my upper body.
You're 26.
I'm old.
I'm 41 and on the verge of a heart attack.
I'm sweaty and washed sitting next to you. Thanks a lot.
I'm aging. Nah. My upper body's strong. My upper body always has been strong. Like, I got dense ass bones. I'm in like the top half a percentile of bone density. And my strength is all here. MMA is tough, man. The lower body. Who knows?
You talk about being here and loving it and being ready for it. When you visualize what this week was going to look like 6, 8, whatever weeks ago, is it looking like how you would imagine? Is it feeling each day like how you thought fight week would go?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've said this before. I visualize everything. I see it all before it happens. The only thing that I didn't visualize is how calm, how tranquil, how lonely it is at night. That 2 hours before I go to sleep where I'm in my hotel room, using my Theragun, putting my ointments on, chilling when I'm alone. This stuff's predictable. I knew this would happen. But when you're alone with your thoughts,
that's when you got to silence
that's the stuff you don't visualize. That's when it's like, yo, this is real. This is gonna get serious.
Right, we got to talk about this fight Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Showtime pay-per-view. It's bragging rights time. But all the jokes and got your head aside, you got to box this man, Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, sir.
How do you make up that experience gap? You're not going to make it up this quick of time. But obviously, you've been detailed and oriented for 3 years, and you're dedicated. Do you brawl him? Do you attack him? How do you make up that difference?
Heart out. Fight my fucking heart out. Fight my heart out. That's the beautiful thing about this sport. Experience, it's fantastic. In almost any industry, experience is going to trump everything else. But at the end of the day, this is a fight, and anything can happen.
All right. But you know as well as I do, if you land clean on him, you're good for life. You can lose. It's true, dude. You can lose this battle. If you land a solid uppercut on him, dude, they're going to NFT that. They're going to auction it. You can retire a trillionaire off the
Showtime's going to
NFT.
NFT that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you have an easy task, but I'm saying, like, there are real winnable scenarios here that have nothing to do with actually knocking him out.
Yeah, no, I know. I know.
Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, of course. I try not to let it, like, consume me. You know, it's exciting. But, like, we're going in there to do a job, to get the job done. It's business. Another day at the office. Literally, bro. I'm going to walk in the office like this that night, chill. Bell's going to ring. I'm going to go, this is crazy. And then fucking fight my heart out. You know, it's another day.
Have you your thoughts on your brother, Jake Paul, taking on Tyron Woodley?
Love the guy.
I mean, that's you guys are thrill seekers here a little bit. Dangerous territory.
Tyron is no joke. Tyron is a beast. I told Jake, I'm like, hey, wasn't that guy like the 5-time welterweight champ of the world?
Yes.
He knows. But he's going to beat him. He's going to beat him. Like, there's a little bit of a cheat code when you bring MMA guys into boxing. It is a different sport. It's fighting. Different sport. Give Jake another 3 months to get good, and bro, I'm not kidding. Jake works so hard. He's a clown online, right? He's a troll. He's the problem child. But he works so hard. Even I'm watching him, and I'm like, yo, you crazy, man. Like, he goes hard. Not to be underestimated.
Well, we're not. We're excited to see what happens there. We're excited for Sunday. By the way, how much thought went into, like, the walkout robe, the trunks, the color patterns, all that? How much?
Because I put a lot of thought into matching this.
Yes, we put a lot of thought into Showtime bias things.
You know, you always want to look good. I'm not wasting too much mental energy on what I'm wearing, but yeah, we got some really good sponsors on my shorts. That's who we spent the most time on, partnering with the right people, the right sponsors on the shorts.
All right, well, good for you. Hope you get paid. That's
Yes,
really
sir.
what it's all about.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations already, and we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Thank you,
for
boys.
your time.
Thank you.
Logan Paul, everybody. There he
Anything's
is.
possible, Logan Paul.
Skies out, thighs out, right? That's how it goes. I won't be doing that. Okay, but he can. All right, there he goes. All right, BC. He's got an entourage the size of, well, what do you want to call it? A track and field team? I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know with the changes in the rules of an exhibition.
I feel bad. We talked to his manager for like 5 seconds.
How that affects the betting odds. But the betting odds of you showing up wearing pink would not have been very.
My wife kindly put me in the right direction. She is from Latin America. She knows the Miami vibe pretty well, and it all worked out.
There's no dog hair on there whatsoever.
There's dog hair, however, on all the things I wore to Miami when I flew on the plane yesterday. People were staring. So,
well, plenty more to come here on this media availability special. Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You know that, Luke. Logan's still holding court on the way out with the remaining media. We're going to get Floyd Mayweather down the carpet soon. Unfortunately, we were unable to chat at length, as you mentioned, with Logan's manager. But shifting to Team Floyd, does he wake up today, Thursday, fight week?
I don't think
couple
Floyd,
days out and just go cha-ching, cha-ching,
I don't think Floyd is. Listen, here's BC. You've been in the boxing game as long as I've been in the combat sports game. We've both been on the. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
hey,
he is. Yeah,
I was
in
hoping
the house.
this guy would come through. I have something to show you.
Icy right here.
Here we go. Hold my microphone for a second. Okay. This is old. I've been waiting to interview you for a long time.
Okay. Oh, Maryland flag. I see it, yeah. DC, yes. Got you.
I'm from DC. I know. Are you still living in the DC area?
Oh, well, I'm from Maryland.
Okay, but you were training. Where are you training these days? Let's back up a step. Jared Hurd, everybody.
Jared Swift Hurd, former junior middleweight champion of the world.
Well, right now I'm training in Houston.
That's right.
Back and forth between Maryland and Houston.
And you live in PG County, or
PG County, Maryland?
Yeah,
yes.
there you go.
So even though you shaved the iconic hair, do you want to keep going up and down the DMV and talk crabs, or can I talk boxing?
We can talk crabs at a later day. Go ahead.
All right, Jared Swift Hurd is, of course, going to be
Jesus, look at the ice.
Sunday's pay-per-view main card. You're taking on Luis Cuba Arias in a middleweight bout. We want to get to that. But you're the former unified junior middleweight champion of the world. Right. Took a hard defeat. Then the hair came off. Then you're out for a long time. I just want to know, boxing fans out there, they want to get that feeling again. How's Swift Hurd? How fired up are you to get back Sunday night?
Oh, man, I'm super fired, man. I had like a year and a half layoff. And,
I was going to say, it's been a little while.
It's been a little while. So, I can't wait to get back in there. And not only am I getting back in there, I'm on one of the biggest stages right now in my career. So on the Mayweather card, And I'm just real happy to get back in the ring.
Now, how did you end up in Houston? Was it a coaching change?
Well, it was a coaching change, but what happened is I went with Shakur Stevenson's trainer. He was training out of Alexandria, Virginia. And Shakur Stevenson ended up moving in Houston. But the chemistry we had for our last fight, I liked it so much. So I moved
He's special.
I went out there with Kay Karomba out there in Houston as well.
Were you off because you just decided to take the pandemic off? You said, I'm going to wait till things get a little bit more normal? Or was there something else that kept you out?
Well, it was definitely the pandemic because I fought in January of 2020.
Right.
And so the pandemic happened maybe around March or February. And I just purchased a new house. No, I was a unified world champion, still living with my parents.
You got bills, man.
Yeah. So after I purchased the house, I was furnishing my house, taking some time off, and I looked in the mirror, man, my weight was up. You know, the gyms was closed.
That quarantine weight's no joke. So I'm keeping the robe on. You know what I mean?
And
so it took some time to get the weight off.
Love and condolences on the loss of your father.
Most
Played a big
man.
part, obviously, in everything in your life. What does that affect you, though, moving forward in your boxing career?
Well, one thing for sure, I think it helped me because, you know, the things my father used to tell me, you know, the little things I slacked on, I feel like he's watching me now. So every time if I had that thought to think to do it, I was like, Pops is watching, he wouldn't like that. It caused me to, you know, to cheer from that way and do the right thing. So I think it's helping me, you know, it's going to be my first fight without him. But, you know, we're just looking forward to go out there and get the victory like I always will.
Are you looking to obviously get the win? That's a given.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is there something about like, hey, I've been gone for a while. Let me put a stamp on this guy to let folks know I'm back. The division's changed a lot, actually, to the extent that you've been gone a little bit. There's been some reshuffling to some extent. It's time to, like, you know, replant your flag, so to speak, right?
Right, most definitely. This guy faced Danny Jacobs. He got a draw with Gabe Rosado, and he's never missed stop. So to separate me from all the other guys is to go out here and look spectacular and be the first one to get a stoppers over him. So that is something I'm looking forward to, go out here and get a stop.
Your opponent, Luis Cuba Arias, you mentioned he's fought great talent. He also loves to stir things up.
Right.
That guy's a talker. What started the beef between you two that's sort of become part of the headline and narrative entering this fight?
Oh, man, listen, I mean, it's more like he just, that's his game. You know, he talks, he has to hype himself up and things like that. And I was online eating some pizza. And, you know, it was a healthy pizza, cauliflower pizza, things like that. And because his weight's at 160, you know, he mentioned something like, man, that's probably why the weight's not at junior middleweight because he's over there eating pizza. And then that's where the whole argument back and forth started arguing. And I'm like, man, what you want something? What you upset? You know what I mean? And that's how I started.
See, a beef over pizza. Normally we put the beef on the pizza and just eat it. You know?
It's cauliflower pizza, too. I don't beef over that. You can have it.
Yeah.
Did I not see one of the Charlos bitter at you on Instagram and you were having fun with it?
Oh, yeah. So, you know,
y'all go back and forth a lot, don't you?
Yeah, all the time, you know. But they're out Houston, too, as well. So I'm out there training. You know, they're on live speaking and saying that I'm trying to be like them, get some of the air that they're breathing out there in Houston, you know, eat some of the deli meat that they're eating.
It is
trying
nice
to be like a Charlo. And, you know, that's what caused us to go back and forth.
Let's not, look over something here, okay? You're fighting Luis Arias at middleweight on Sunday night. But you've said in interviews this week that you want to come back to 154, the division where you stamped, where you put on great fight of the year against Erislandy Lara.
Such a great fight.
Tell me if I'm wrong, one of the 3 or 4 best fights we can make in this sport is you against Jermell Charlo, potentially for all the belts should he defeat Brian Castano in a fight in July that we're very much looking forward to, a true undisputed fight. Are you as jacked over the idea of that fight, or do I just shadow box in a mirror alone and cry to myself and just say, I wish I could see this?
You're going to do that anyway.
Listen, belts, no belts, it doesn't matter. The biggest fight at 154 right now is me versus Jermell Charlo. It doesn't matter. No one wants to see him and Julie Williams. No one wants to see him and Eris Ellerbe too. They want to see me versus Charlo. That's the biggest fight in the weight class right now.
Do you want that rematch against J-Rock? I had to ask you because that fight was in Fairfax, dude. I believe me, I was covering that fight.
Yeah,
I was
got
well aware.
2 things on my checklist: Jermell Charlo and Julie Williams.
At 154.
At 154.
Are you going to fight? I mean, obviously you're here this weekend, and we'll see what happens, and you're going to plan it out. But like, is the goal like? Lamont Peterson was like a guy who could have fights in the DMV area, and he was he had the ability to pull. Are you trying to get that, or you want the biggest fights, biggest cards, doesn't matter where they are?
Of course, man. You know, but we don't have that big of arenas there in the DMV right now. So, you know, I had my fight over at Eagle Bank Arena, when I had my hometown come.
It's about
fight.
10,000 at home.
It holds like 10,000 people. So it all depends on how big the fight is and how many people.
You've been to the MGM facility over in National
MGM
Harbor?
is even smaller, man. I only hold like 5,000 people. So
it's weird, but it's nice though.
It's nice,
but it's small. You're right. Yeah, it's not like Vegas.
You've always been such an incredibly large and powerful 154-pound fighter, and it's created such interesting style matchups, and you were able to make Laura brawl, and you get in people's kitchen. But you haven't always been able to make 54 with the cleanest of ease because of that.
Oh, Brian Campbell.
Your body's growing out of yourself. How confident are you that to make another title run there that's not going to be an issue at all?
I'll say this. For sure, I can continue to make the weight, but to make the weight and feel strong, I'll say about a year and a half, 2 years.
Let's maximize that.
Yeah, I'm about to say for a 154 guy, I realize this weekend a little bit different, whatever, but you're huge.
Yeah.
Big 154.
Yeah, I can easily fit at 168 and fit right in.
How do you think, you've been watching Canelo from the sidelines, how do you feel he's been doing this past year?
Man, no doubt in my mind.
He's number one pound for pound?
He's number one pound for pound. His resume shows it, and the way he's beating guys shows it. You know, I mean, he's moving up and down the weight classes and stopping guys at 175 and things like that. So, you know, Canelo right now, he's the biggest star in the sport right now.
Okay, two questions about it real quickly, I know. Do you think he beats Caleb Plant, yes or no?
Yes, I think he beats Caleb Plant. I think he's going to be competitive in the beginning, but once Canelo adjusts, he wins.
The second part, do you think he beats Artur Beterbiev at 175?
Yes, I think he beat him as well. I think that may be a tougher fight.
Wow, that's real recognizing real right there.
That's the one a year ago. I was like, that's the one I want to see.
Yes, I know. I think that's going to be a tougher fight. But I still think Canelo.
He's a hammer.
Yeah.
Your name is high up on the marquee on Sunday night, and I'm sure you love the chance that you're going to be featured on a giant pay-per-view that so many people are going to see.
Yeah.
But traditional boxing hasn't gone out of their way to be like, hey, Logan and Jake Paul, come sit with me over here. Everybody knows you can make some money. It brings a lot of attention. But where do you stand on that? Do you say, well, if they're going to give Floyd this chance, no hating on him for taking it. Right. Are you cool being next to them on the marquee? Do you hope the Paul brothers have a short stay in this game? How do you sit on that?
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Every one of the fights I tuned in, I like it. So even though I get what the fighters are saying that these guys just coming in the game and getting these paydays and getting these recognition and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's all entertainment. They have a big following. The things that us fighters are looking for as well, big followers, fans to tune into our fights. And, they got it. So I'm here for it. I'm entertained, man. With Chad Johnson fighting and all that. So,
yeah, he is.
I like to see it all.
Well, listen, I don't know when you're headed back to the PG County, D.C. area, but when you do, free media anytime. We'd love to talk to more with you. And can't wait to see what happens after this Sunday, man. It's going to be a good time.
Man. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Best of luck,
there he
man.
is, Jarrett Swift Hurd, who just doesn't have enough jewelry. You need more jewelry, honestly.
That's champ lifestyle right there.
All right, thank you, champ. We appreciate you. Courtney is, I don't know where she is. Okay, there we go. Luke, reset one more time. Brian Campbell, Luke Thomas. We are from CBS Sports. We're here at the Versace Mansion in Miami Beach. Is this, I don't know the answer. Is this South Beach?
This is South. I mean, South Beach, I could throw a baseball into it, Luke. We are on it.
All right, very good. It's a media availability day. So we had Logan Paul come through. You just saw Jarrett Hurd. We are waiting for Floyd. We're told he's not too far away. That's what they just said in my ear. I couldn't quite tell.
But great chatting with Jarrett Hurd and seeing the hunger back, the time away, losing his father.
He looks.
I mean, everything
jacked.
we all went through on top of that with with being away at the quarantine, he looks jacked. He looks focused, all that. I mentioned how excited I would be, as would anybody, to see him against Jermell Charlo. But just that he's that focused to get back in line at 154 and see what he can stir up. Yes, we were shocked when he lost to J-Rock, but I think we were just as shocked when then J-Rock lost the title the next time to Banana Rosario. Then Jermell Charlo comes in on pay-per-view last year and takes the belts. Now he's got 3 of the 4. Going to fight Brian Castano. Can't wait. But it seems with raising the rent and the star value, not only is Jarrett Hurd a threat to be the last man standing at 154 when all is said and done, he's also going to raise the rent in terms of the interest and the celebrity factor.
And also, listen, take nothing away from J-Rock. He went into enemy territory at Fairfax, Virginia, and he beat Jarrett Swift Hurd. Like, he deserved to get his hand raised for that fight, although it was a tough, fun, competitive fight. But J-Rock got the job done. Still, if you watch that fight, J-Rock was the better man that night. I think that's fair to say. But I also think it's fair to say, is that the very best I've ever seen from Jarrett Swift Hurd? Credit J-Rock for putting him in that position. I just mean to say, if he can get some wins and they want to run that back, I like Hurd's chances for it to potentially be a different kind of outcome.
And there's nothing wrong with having a division where there's so many elite players, but there's parity between them, and they could change, they could swap titles multiple times and make really big fights. That's why you end up putting documentaries like The Kings, Luke, Sunday night on Showtime, talking about Duran and Leonard and all those guys, because they all fought each other multiple times. That's what we want out of this 154 division. You hear it coming out of their mouths, too. We got lines of people bringing you napkins, Luke, to wipe that sweat off.
Yeah, I don't need new napkins, but I need fewer people walking behind me, which I don't know how possible that might be. But
tighter security. That's Team Paul. They got a lot of baggage, Luke, okay?
And they just, just comfortably walking through people's pictures and videos. It's okay. What are you going to do?
Okay.
Okay, so we are waiting for Floyd Mayweather. There is still a ton of media here. You're seeing a bunch of other sort of boxing luminaries. I'd say the media turnout. I don't know if can you put the wide shot, Manich? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you can't quite tell exactly, but it's. I would argue for what you have, it's a very well attended from a media perspective. I see, by the way, a lot of MMA media. There's the Schmo in a turtleneck in Miami Beach.
Oh yeah,
in June.
You know, he's got his own image on his shoes. He knows how to dress for this type of occasion. He fits in perfectly.
This is the vibe you should be going for.
This is the vibe. I mean, this is a sweat show here, right here. But you know, am I winning it? Am I selling it? Am I nailing it?
Listen,
Luke? Or is this a loss?
I think that I think it's a law that if you're a 41-year-old white dad, you're not allowed to call yourself cool.
Okay.
But in as far as you can be, given those considerations, I feel like we're close.
We're close. All I know is that we belong here at this very large event this week, and a lot of eyes on Floyd, a lot of eyes on Logan, a lot of eyes on Jarrett Hurd and names like Badu Jack, but also Ocho Cinco himself.
Yes.
Chad Johnson, number 85. Call him what you want, Luke. He knows how to make headlines throughout his career, but these are potential dangerous headlines when he jumps in there and makes his boxing debut.
Yeah, man.
Against Brian Maxwell, who has some bare knuckle experience,
which is no
has a
joke,
cup of coffee
man.
in traditional boxing experience. I hope we get a chance to talk to Chad, because you got to have a lot of huevos, as they say, to put it on the line. We saw what happened when Nate Robinson met Jake Paul.
Yeah, it didn't go great. The Nate Robinson one is one in boxing. Folks may not remember this, but the K1 show, 2007 in L.A., Johnny Morton, college football legend, he got stretched by Bernard Aka, the curl toes, the whole 9 yards. So you think, oh, these famous, celebrity athletes from other sports come over, they're going to get the celebrity treatment. They're going to match him up with somebody who has no chance. I would actually argue that the guy Chad's fighting has a really good chance, as a matter of fact.
I mean, Chad's going to have to let us know the second they touch gloves, they start throwing.
I need more water.
Whether he can compete in this fight, I can't wait to see it. It's another one of these spectacles you got to see. I mean, there's a reason why you put together and book a fight like that. We just want to see what it looks like. Luke, you're rehydrating, luckily, because it's at least, 112 degrees out here?
Yes. Yes,
I mean,
it is
where else would I want to be,
warm.
though, right? Where else in the world would I want to be? No, I've got my own sweat rag. Thank you very much.
How many rounds do you think this goes? So if you go back and you watch the Conor and the Floyd fight, first 3 rounds, Conor wins, or at least does really well, given expectations. And then things kind of begin to turn, and Floyd stopped him in the 9th or the 10th?
The 10th round. I had it 4-0 Conor, which isn't ridiculous.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think that's crazy. I mean, but the argument is Floyd, took those rounds off, let the fight breathe a little bit.
He wanted to challenge the gas tank of McGregor, and he wanted, I think at the very least, Luke, and you're going to probably see that against Logan Paul for as long as that period needs to be where Floyd takes the snapshot, is Floyd's not going to, just go, all right, let's brawl off the opening second. He's going to check the distance, the speed, the angles. He's going to try to get a taste of what is coming back at him. I think you asked me how many rounds it will go. It depends on how much Logan can use his size to offset the disadvantages that he's going to have with speed, experience, all that stuff that comes with not having been a fighter for long. But can he keep him away either with the jab or in the clinch or the shove, and just establish himself as the obvious bigger man, freak show level bigger man for this type of fight, so that he could give himself a chance late, Luke?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, here's the thing, though. If you fight Floyd Mayweather, and you've covered how many of his fights, a dozen or more, maybe even more than that, dude, your window to win is the first 6 rounds. If you don't win in the first 6, it's a wrap for you. It's not going to happen. The first 6 rounds, like what round was it where Mosley stung him? The second round or maybe the first
second
round? Like that when he's making the reads, when he's looking to see what you're giving him, that's the window. But if
But that's the window where he's going to be defensive and looking and
and he might not know what's coming.
Although McGregor caught him with that uppercut in round 1 to the throat, and here's Floyd Mayweather, Luke, coming down the stairs. Again, you can feel the temperature in the room change. This man's a star. TBE.
Bro, his bodyguards are absolute units. Just grizzly bears.
5-division world champion. 44 years old. Luke, last time I checked, he was what? The A-side in the 5 biggest pay-per-views in boxing history?
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, something like that, you know. Is it 5 of 6? Something like that. He knows how to get you interested. He knows how to hook you. Again, whether it's to see him take a loss, something he's never done, exhibition or not, you know, since turning pro, or whether it's to see him, as Leonard Ellerbe, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, told me last week, he believes it's the first time since he can remember that Floyd is the babyface, because Floyd's quote-unquote fighting for boxing. Is there an element of that, Luke?
Yeah, there probably is a little. I mean, he's the established guy. Logan's trying to come over and tip over the apple cart, right? That's his whole goal, victory or otherwise. We talked about the moral victories he can kind of take. Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Like, you would want to make sure that the real legend in the sport, the guy who actually has the technical acumen, skills win fights, even if he's somewhat diminished by age. Yeah,
I'll tell you what,
I think that's entirely reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Father Time is undefeated, you know, even longer than even longer than Floyd has. So you certainly have to see the proof in the pudding, as they say, so to speak. But it hasn't looked like he's you know, we saw maybe
Floyd is never out of shape. Is he in the shape?
He's always in insane shape.
Is he now in the shape that he was for like Pacquiao or Maidana? No, I don't think that it doesn't need to be. It's not a 12-round fight. He's not fighting a pro boxer. But he's also, how old is Floyd?
44.
44. He's a little bit older now.
But he's held that margin of perfection, meaning like he'll hold an advantage over you in the fight, get the fight to his terms, and then take away the one thing you had coming in that was your strongest chance, and then just, you know, make you look silly doing that. And he's going to outgas you, all of these things. At 44, you know, I don't think he can go 8 3-minute rounds at a super elite hard level against another super elite hard guy across from him. I mean, he would have to, that would be something we've never seen before. That's not going to be that in this fight. Yet obviously, Logan Paul, no matter what him or his trainer is saying, they have to create chaos. They have to get Floyd off script.
Yeah, this whole idea like we're going to outbox him, that sounds like a real bad.
Make him use more of his gas tank than he ever imagined coming in. They got to do something.
Lean on him. If the weight difference is that big, how do you use the weight difference? Part of it is punching power. Okay, that's part of it. The other part is overhook, underhook, turn, pull, push, lean on him in the ropes. All kinds of stuff where that can actually have an effect over the course of the fight. All right, so Floyd is talking to the media, we've been told. We're actually going to go to his audio now and see what he has to say.
Or Jake Paul, like I said before, John Shahidi, a guy that I've been dealing with, you know, and with social media a long time ago, you know, he talked about Logan Paul and Jake Paul a long time ago, but he said these guys want you to work with them. These guys want you to train them a long time ago, probably with boxing. I didn't really know the guys, but I guess they're forced on YouTube, so we'll just see Saturday night how everything plays out.
Got the workout
Not Saturday. I'm used to saying Saturday. I meant Sunday, so I apologize. I'm used to saying Saturday. Yeah. So Sunday, I apologize.
At the workout yesterday, he said he'll sleep you in 6. What's your response to that?
We'll just sit.
Can you give one message to the Showtime Boxing family?
To who?
To the Showtime Boxing family.
Oh, Showtime, I just want to say thank you. I'm just glad that you guys got together with myself and Mayweather Promotions, along with PBC. Just connecting with Floyd Mayweather, you know, itself made you guys the A-side, you know. So I just want to say thank you to Showtime, Steven Espinosa, and the whole staff.
Thank you so much.
Sky, hey, what's going on, Sky? Hey, what's going on?
Hey, watch it, Nick. Right behind you with the wire. Watch it, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Don't let him trip, Nick.
I gotta get a water. Yeah.
Rich, can you get a water?
What kind of numbers we looking at this weekend, baby?
Waters. Just a bunch. Floyd,
what kind of numbers?
Floyd, what can we expect from yours?
Hang on, let him have a water.
Sorry.
Gotta get a little water. We in Miami.
Keep hydrated.
Yeah.
Floyd, what can we expect from you on Sunday night?
Oh, Sunday, it's crazy. Just a few minutes ago, I spoke about Saturday. I'm so used to saying Saturday night. I said Saturday probably a couple of times, but Sunday, it's gonna be fun. This is what I do. A lot of experience, and like I said, there's a difference between YouTube boxing and elite boxing and elite fighters. So you guys will see the difference.
No judges, but the fight can end by KO. Does that suit you?
We'll just see. You know, I want everybody to tune in. If you can't come to Miami, buy pay-per-view. It's worth it.
The gloves.
Normally it's $100 or a little bit more than $100, but we give them a discount, $50 this time.
The gloves have changed from 12 ounces to 10. Are you more confident now than ever that you knocked Logan Paul out?
Well, at first, they was talking about 14-ounce gloves, 16-ounce gloves. From the beginning, I wanted 8-ounce gloves for me as well as Logan Paul. So hopefully we can change to 8-ounce.
You clashed with Jake Paul back in May. Is this personal for you? Do you plan to punish Logan for his brother's antics?
Oh, I don't really worry about that. This is easy. This is what I do. I'm a fighter, so I don't worry about anything. Once again, I've been a professional 25 years, then fought the best, then seen every style, and I always came out on top.
You achieved it all in boxing, an unblemished career. Is your legacy at risk on Sunday night?
My legacy, I think that just the strategy, my strategy, whereas other fighters that's in boxing right now, quote unquote, the so-called top fighters, they have to fight. Fighters like Manny Pacquiao, he have to fight. I don't have to fight. I'm doing what I want to do because this is what I want to do. I'm retired. Am I proud of Manny Pacquiao? Absolutely. But he has to fight. You know, I made smart investments. I was able to put myself in a position where I don't have to fight anymore.
You could give away as much as 30 pounds to Logan Paul on the night. Have you made a mistake by agreeing to that?
Well, most of the time when I go out there and I fight these guys, I'm giving up 20 pounds. When I was fighting at 140, the guys that I fight go up to 160. When I was fighting at 147, guys go up to 167 within 24 hours. So I don't really worry about the weight. I don't worry about height. I don't worry about weight. Once again, fighting wins fights. And once again, nobody can win. So this is just entertainment.
And finally, do you have a message to your UK fans who'll be staying up to watch this fight on Sky Sports box office?
I just want to say thank you to the UK fans. You guys have been great just throughout my career. Now, I'm just entertaining the people, having fun. Still doing what I wanted to do, which is a great thing. So hope you guys and everybody in the UK tune in.
Right here, please. Right here, please.
Let's go, Chip. Let's go. Right here. Did you find yourself training hard when you did get this training evidence?
Ready? Check. Right here.
Where we at?
Right here.
Hi, Floyd.
No, sir. Right here. Telemundo. Right here.
Telemundo, hey.
Hey, Floyd. Thank you for your time with us in Telemundo. We always be grateful because your first fight was with us in Boxeo Telemundo.
Yes, I want to say thank you to Telemundo. You guys was covering me when I was a young fighter coming up, which is truly a blessing. I can never overlook you guys. I just want to say thank you to everybody at Telemundo because you guys helped build my career.
Thank you so much for your words, and we always been working around your fights, and this is a great moment for Miami also because Floyd Mayweather is in Miami to get another big moment. But this is the easiest payment for you in your career. How do you envision this fight or this Sunday?
I don't really look at it as a fight. I think my opponent look at it as a fight. I look at it as just going out, having fun, and entertaining the people.
And that's what you do the best because this is what you've been doing. You pick when you want to entertain the people.
I do it. I want to do it when I want to and how I want to.
So there's no judges. You're gonna have special moves because you can do around whatever. This is different, like your professional fights.
I'm just happy that we're able to go out and someone can get knocked out. That's the great thing about this. So when someone get knocked out, it is a winner.
I remember when you fought Big Show in the WWE, he was 3 times you, but now he's a little bit bigger, but that's not a problem for you.
We can never worry about height or size. It's all about the skills.
Exactly.
And that's one thing about Floyd Mayweather, I got skills.
So, who else do you envision to fight next for entertain people after this Logan fight?
I don't really know. We'll just see. We want to go out there, have fun Sunday, and get the people what they want to see.
What do you think about Canelo is doing right now? Because you help him. There's big moments, big names also in the fight.
Mayweather versus Logan Paul, Sunday, bragging rights. Everybody tune in.
Thank you, Floyd.
Thank you.
Right here, please. Right here, please.
Guys, watch out.
We're doing a scrum right here. Right here.
Hi, Floyd. How are you? Good to have you in South Florida.
Yes, I'm glad to be back, of course. I live out here also. A great place to be. So many great people. And Sunday, entertainment for the people, which is great.
How can you make this happen? All this attention that's going on into your fight.
Just really blessed. A great team, so many great people that helped me get to this point. I can never overlook the people that helped me. Strong team, strong backing. I think the last 18 months, 24 months, something like that, it's been rough for the people in the U.S., but everything is opening up. We're in Miami, all the cities around Miami. I want everybody to come out and have fun Sunday and enjoy some entertainment.
Why him?
Why not? He's huge on YouTube. He has a huge following. And before I even knew about YouTube, I was already huge in the sport of boxing. And when you bring his world with my world, man, it's gonna be crazy.
You know what he told me, Floyd? When I told him, you know, you're fighting the best ever, he told me, I'm gonna kick his ass. What do you have to say about that?
I'm glad he got confidence. I'm glad he believes in himself. I'm glad he believes in his skills. Last time I checked, all 50 fighters that I faced, they all said the same thing.
Thank you, Floyd. Thank you very much.
You hear Floyd Mayweather making the rounds with the media here at the red carpet. The Versace Mansion. Brian Campbell, Luke Thomas of Morning Combat. We had him on before, Jeff Levin, the manager of Logan Paul. Sorry we had to yank you out to get Logan in, but we wanted to get you back on here
Talent
because
first.
You know, you in a lot of ways manage the great brand that Logan has built and strategically help him walk through that. But you never could have guessed that, 3 years since he first put on the gloves, he's boxing Floyd Mayweather. I mean, I know like people don't want to give Logan that outside the ring credit for getting, but there was a small chance a fight like this could ever have been sellable. How did we get here?
He's worked so hard at building this brand and put in so much work that his ability after that has now led to this, right? Like, you wouldn't be sitting here with us if he didn't work so hard at building such an amazing brand, a global brand that's, 100 million followers across all of his platforms. Creativity beyond anybody you could imagine, and work ethic most importantly. He's the hardest worker that I know, and probably out there I could put him against everybody else. He just happens to be an athletic guy. He was an all-state football player, all-state wrestler in Ohio, and a really smart kid as well.
But I mean, if they're friends, Luke, he should be concerned pushing his friend in to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
I mean,
man. I mean, you're pushing him in here to the Shark Tank here a little bit, right?
I mean, Logan's 6'2". He's going to be 190. Floyd's what, 5'6", 160 maybe.
Yeah, but he's a good boxer.
He's an unbelievable boxer. He's arguably, right, they said that one of the best ever to do it. I just think Logan's work ethic and his ability to take on obstacles in his life, he's never turned anything down. He's really just said, hey, look, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to figure out how I can do this the best of my ability, and I'm going at it.
Give me the phone call before the phone call. In other words, there must have been a phone call where the deal got offered or something, and then you called Logan, you're like, you're not going to believe the phone call I just had. What was that?
I think it was Logan, would you ever want to fight Floyd Mayweather? Ha. Yeah, sure, Jeff. Okay, that's all I needed to know. I'll call you back.
And so what happened? Like, how did the deal come together?
My best friend Matt introduced us to Famio that Floyd was working with, and Solomon at Famio said, hey, Floyd said he'll do something for us. And originally it was supposed to be something in the gym, something for COVID, there was, no entertainment happening at the time, end of the year of 2020. And after we kind of tested the waters and saw what the excitement was, it stepped up to the level of, now talking to Showtime, and here we are, Hard Rock Stadium, June 6th, probably the biggest event or one of the biggest events of 2021. And it's unbelievable. We're thankful, appreciative of the opportunity, and now hopefully we'll seize the day.
Imagine someone is like me, doesn't know what cool is, doesn't even, wouldn't even know how to orient themselves around it. What is Logan Paul famous for? What is his brand? Help somebody who maybe is new to this process to understand him.
I think his what people believe and see of him is his love for life, his energy. He happens to be in front of the camera, but it's a breath of fresh air for people who are going through life, right? Have jobs, going to school, to be able to watch something and be like, wow, that guy's really doing stuff. He's enjoying his life. He's living it to the max. Look at what he's doing. He's traveling the world. He's boxing the greatest boxer of all time. It's aspirational, right? It's built different than everybody else to be able to watch and be like, wow, I want to be along for that journey. You know, maybe I could be a part of that. Almost like watching your favorite sports team.
Is that why people like, from his videos, obviously we know him more for why he's here today. We're older, you know, I think that's a fair comment. But he has a giant audience on YouTube, right? When they respond to him, what are they responding to? Is it the lust for life, the joy? But he's like, there's more to it than just that.
The enjoyment that they get from watching him. They always come up to him and they're like, thank you. I love watching you. I love what you're saying. I love what you're doing. You know, keep on going. I'm rooting for you. Like, they're really rooting for him. It's like almost getting pushed up, you know?
How nervous are you going to be on fight night? When they're finally facing off under referee instruction?
I think I'll be nervous. I'll take a deep breath and then take it in. It's going to be an unbelievable event. So thankful for the opportunity. And yeah, sure, there'll be nerves going, and then it's like, okay, let's see what we can do.
All right, Jeff, let's get to what people are actually here for. The damn hat. May 6th, got your hat.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have smartly pivoted, or I'm sorry, Jake and his people, Smith and Logan too, have smartly pivoted into making money off of that.
Jake's amazing.
You're Logan's manager, of course, but where is the damn hat? Because I wrote a 4,000-word story for CBS Sports, an oral history of the got your hat, and everybody claims it's in their house. Where, from Floyd's team to
Jeff
Logan's
has the
team,
hat.
it's not out of the question that Jake comes down Shawn Michaels style from the roof here wearing the hat. Where's this damn hat right now?
I honestly don't know exactly.
I don't believe any of this. You know where that hat is.
But there could be a chance that Logan comes out with the hat.
You know where that hat is. That is so provocative.
Right? How crazy would that be if Logan walks out with the hat on?
Oh, God. This is what I'm talking about. If you're going to play games with Floyd, and he's boxing, he's not making Floyd do something he's not good at, right? Floyd's good at boxing.
Of course.
You got to throw in all these other elements.
Every jab, 100%.
100%. That's what you got to.
Yeah.
Dude, if he does that, that is going to break the internet for sure.
I spent time with the brothers last week in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And Jake's much more serious about wanting to be respected as a real fighter. I mean, he says it, he carries that aura like, this is not carnival. I'm the real fighter, come watch me. Logan almost seems like he laughs in the face of that at times because everything can be a joke. I'm not saying that he would take his training unserious, but do you think that even if he loses this in a way he wouldn't want to, that boxing is still going to be a thing for him? Or is this just a stop on his entertainer, inspirational journey to get to where he wants to bring his art?
He's been bit by the bug. He loves it. He loves entertaining. This is one of the biggest platforms in the world. He loves working out and training, and he loves boxing. That's why he's here. He wouldn't do it if he didn't love it. He's got so many opportunities to do a lot of things. He always decides what he's doing based on something that he really cares about. So I think he'll continue to do it. Is he going to have, a long, 10-year career? We don't know, because he could, things could happen, but he's definitely excited about boxing. He wants to do more in it, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, but forget the 10 years. What about the 4 years? He's 26, he'll be 30 roughly in 4 years. What do you think he's doing at 30?
It's been so many different things. He's so good at so many things because what he decides to do, he becomes the best or one of the best at it in almost every aspect. So he really gets to decide what he wants.
Public office is the answer, Luke.
Dude, if you have an audience on YouTube, it's a license to just live a big one. I mean, obviously his audience is unique in its size, and there's not many people who've got his kind of command. But it's a license to go do what you want to do with your life.
And just film it.
And just film it.
As he's said, he's never had a boss, but he works harder than everybody out there. So that's an unbelievable life.
Can you imagine, because we've all
We
said...
need a guy like this in our lives. Jesus Christ.
Matt Snyder, you just got demoted. Where is he right here? Okay, here's what I want to say. These guys are masters at owning the moment, marketing-wise, making a social media splash. We know if Logan wins this fight, it turns the world's orbit upside down and breaks the internet. I mean, can you imagine what they have planned to hit play if Logan somehow finds a way to win this?
My girlfriend asked me, is he going to slow down after the fight? I said,
not if he wins.
It may speed up really fast.
Bro, if he wins, first of all, is there a rematch clause?
There is not. There is not.
I mean, listen, the odds of it, I'll be honest with you. You know, you've seen the odds. They're not great. But you know, you got to respect the puncher.
It's a fight.
It's a fight.
Anything could happen.
Dude, that would be, I don't even know what to describe that as if he were able to pull that off.
There is no comparison.
The biggest
really
upset in sports history.
That's bold, but seriously.
Seriously.
I can't, I'm trying to think. I don't
Name
know.
one. Name one.
What are the odds? Do we know? Our friends at William Hill?
There's no other bigger upset in the world's history.
It would be monumental. It would be shattering.
Is it like the United States beating
the hockey team in 1980?
No, the UK.
The Miracle on Ice?
The Revolutionary War.
Oh, yes. Also an upset, yes.
Or will it be like the Battle of the Alamo? Look, that's what we're gonna.
Well, that's a wonderful little imagery you're conjuring here. A last stand of death.
Remember it, though. They'll remember it, okay? They're going to remember it no matter
where you were when Logan Paul beat Floyd
Where are you?
Mayweather.
You got ringside seats?
I'll be there.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Must be nice. Jeff
Thank
Levin,
you,
it's been a
guys.
pleasure chatting with you.
I
I'm
appreciate
sure
you.
Your pockets are overflowing with green stamps working with this guy, Logan.
I'm sure you've worked hard for it,
Not
too.
yet. Thank you.
We
I
wouldn't
appreciate
share
you
with us
guys.
on
I
Sunday.
appreciate you so much.
I can't wait to see what happens on Sunday. Congratulations.
It's going to be wild.
There he goes. All right. One more time here. Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell. We are from CBS Sports here at the Versace Mansion in Miami, Florida.
We're in this hot Versace right now.
Yes,
I look
we are.
good in this color, Luke.
We are waiting on.
Sweaty.
We are waiting on one Floyd Mayweather who is talking to the media, and once he does finish with that, he's going to come and sit over here and talk to us for just a bit.
He'll be able to
at the
see
same time.
through us right away as imposters to this lifestyle.
That's correct,
He'll
yeah.
see the sweat. He'll see a lot of gross things. So I don't expect real to recognize real, but we do know how I rock the cell phone case game with the manly Kate Spade black.
You
gold,
shoplifted that at a Sheetz,
and white.
you're a sad
I wonder
man.
if Floyd will, because it matches my robe, so I wonder if Floyd will respect game in that regard.
I don't think he will. His is probably encrusted with diamonds and gold. Yours is encrusted with effeminate brands. I don't know, something else.
All right, Luke. You know what the worst thing they did for us was put a monitor in front of us while we're wearing these robes.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, could we
I
look
look
more
down, I'm just
disgusting?
like,
They were like, hey, after this is over, you should go interview more people. I'm like, you should hose me off with carbonic acid when this is over. How about that?
we wear it well. So does Floyd Mayweather. He's worn the tune, Luke, of record-breaking pay-per-view sales, record-breaking.
Let's go through his. Let's go through. You mentioned his 5 biggest fights. So, McGregor.
Yes.
Pacquiao.
Yes.
Canelo.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
De La Hoya.
Here we go.
Yes.
This is the man.
Speaking of a man who
the
is
myth,
who has
the
cashed,
legend, Leonard Ellerbe, CEO of Mayweather Promotions.
a man who has cashed a check or two on the road to Floyd's unbeaten 50-0 run.
He earned it as well. Here he is, Leonard Ellerbe. Leonard, how are you, sir?
Oh, great to be here in beautiful Miami.
You know how I knew the gotcha hat incident was bad? Because it was the one time I saw you not smiling. You're always smiling.
Man, I mean, you know.
You had a concerned look on your face.
Yes, because, again, we could not even be here today, meaning for this event. That whole thing could have went just completely south.
I mean, the gentleman standing behind you.
He's not small.
I don't want to take that man's hat. I don't want to see what happens.
You can keep your hat, sir. It's quite all right. If you want to hold the microphone a little closer to your face. There you go, yeah. How are you feeling about this week? I mean, it's a chill vibe.
It's going to be an incredible event. As you see, there's a tremendous buzz now. And again, everyone is really, really looking to this incredible event on Sunday night. Again, it's something totally different from what we all are used to seeing. Logan, he's been he's created this incredible buzz out there for what he's been able to do thus far. So he's bringing his legion of fans to this event on Sunday night. And we all know what Floyd's been able to do in his illustrious career. So this is really, really going to be very, very entertaining. And I personally predict this will probably be one of the most entertaining things Floyd has ever been involved in his career.
Oh, wow.
I got to say, Floyd is making, listen, Conor McGregor's a real fighter, but that was his pro boxing debut. Tenshin Nasukawa just ran him over. And here we have Logan Paul. I got to say, for a guy who's retired from boxing, Floyd finds ways to get not just great checks, but do big events.
Well, they don't call
the fact.
They don't call him Money Made for no reason at all. You know, again, we have an incredible team. He's had an incredible vision, and again, he retired from the sport, but he didn't retire from entertainment and making money.
And Leonard, you've been a big part of the brain trust behind the scenes, the great Al Heyman. If no one has Floyd's brand or the arc he had to become the TBE and take over boxing, not just obviously the unbeaten record, but even more, the records, the pay-per-view draws, the buys. Floyd is allowed to live a different lifestyle because of that Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell don't know too well. But is there ever a time you get a phone call from Floyd and you're like, Floyd, maybe we're taking this rich guy thing a little too far? Like, Floyd's like, you know, Leonard, I got a country, all right? They need new leadership. I may just buy them.
I just bought a country.
Is that where you put the brakes on?
I bought this baby cash.
I mean, because he knows himself better than anyone. You know, and again, this is a great form of entertainment. You know, he's accomplished everything in his career. Everything. He's beat more world champions than any fighter in the history of the sport. You know, he's fought every elite fighter that's out there, you know, in his generation. And so, again, he's retired from the sport, but then this is a great form of entertainment, and that's exactly what we're going to give the fans.
So when you were in the meeting and they were like, okay, we want him to have an exhibition bout against Logan Paul, where were you on that? Did you know who Logan Paul was? Did you watch the KSI thing? Like, what was your initial vibe when the idea began to get floated?
Again, anything that he has, you know, we very rarely disagree on things, and this definitely wasn't one of them. Again, this is a great form of entertainment. There's a tremendous amount of interest globally for this. Actually, just last night, I was just going through, someone on my staff, I was just going through the stack of all our international agreements for this fight. And this just reminds me of some of our major events that we've recently done. You know, there's an incredible buzz for this fight globally. And again, that just shows you, you know, what kind of attraction that Floyd has been, you know. And again, he's a retired fighter. And you just look around at this media interest out here where we're at today.
Crazy.
I mean, that's the thing. You know, if there's a purist boxing fan that's out there, it's like, I don't want to see Floyd do this. Well, he wouldn't be doing this if this many people didn't care about it. So how do you put that in the greatest sense? Floyd,
what's the argument to boxing purists?
We've done the top 5 Floyd fights. I mean, he's the A-side in the biggest fights ever. Where does this fight, or how can this fight compete with those? Because we don't know how big that audience is that Logan can bring with him, right?
Well, we know it's big. I mean, all you got to do is look at his followers, you know, and again, the incredible interest that this fight. See, what I've been able to do, because, like you mentioned, the purists, is that I love the diehard boxing fans. I mean, you know, we have 37 fighters that's assigned to Mayweather Promotions, you know. And none of them might not never reach this level that Floyd has reached. So, again, this is something totally different, you know, and when it comes to the purists, you know, you're in a no-win situation, you know, because there are a lot of the purists out there that have been unhappy with Floyd's career. What more could he have done with his career? You know, he's beaten every fighter that we put in front of him. I mean, you look back, your favorite fighter today, I'm sure he's probably beat him. Your next favorite fighter, I'm sure he's probably beat him too.
Well, we couldn't get him in there against Golovkin. That didn't happen.
Okay.
Golovkin's pretty big.
Yeah, probably because he was a 60-pounder when Floyd was a 47-pounder. And the purists were calling for that then. You know, again, they're not going to be satisfied until he's fighting a heavyweight. Oh, he's doing that on Sunday night.
So there is an interesting couple twists here with this one. It's an exhibition, as everyone knows, but it's on Sunday, not Saturday. I even heard Floyd kind of stumble there because he's so used to saying, catch me on Saturday. The other part is the pay-per-view price point a little bit lower. My understanding is it's $49.99. So talk to me about that. You moved it to Sunday. You lowered the price a little bit. It's obviously you're trying to cast a wide net here, right?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we're obviously, the entire world has been in this global pandemic for the last year and a half. And the last time a Floyd Mayweather event, it was $100. So we were very, very mindful. Floyd was very adamant about that with the price point. He wanted to be able to give the fans something, as he calls it, a bang for their buck. He wanted to give them value for their money. And, that's exactly what we're giving them. We have a tremendous card. One of the major fighters fell out for obvious reasons because he popped really, really, really dirty.
Yeah, Jean Pascal.
And, so again, we still have a tremendous event. Still a tremendous event. We got Chad Ochocinco. He's making his debut into this. So that's created a tremendous buzz in the mainstream world out there with all the NFL players. You're going to see several of them. Tom Brady's going to be ringside Sunday night.
There you go.
Julian Edelman. I mean, it's going to be lots of NFL players, lots of actors, lots of hip-hop stars, lots of other athletes. So again, there's a tremendous buzz out there. Again, because anytime you have a Floyd Mayweather involved in something, it's going to be big.
How does he top this? I mean, is it Conor McGregor 2 on an island
Conor was that was big.
He's been popping a lot.
I mean,
he's been talking a lot of mess.
He sure has.
Listen, and what I say to Conor, if you listening, you can get that too.
Okay.
You can get that too.
Floyd would be down for a rematch?
Most definitely. Because it's that right there is very personal. That's very
the things Conor's been saying?
Well, I think after everything that, when they left the ring, they hugged and all that. But
we were there that night. I remember they were arm in arm and everything.
Yeah, but things are a little different now. Things are a little different. All right,
what about people that say maybe Conor's a future opponent? What about this Jake Paul guy? He did get the hat. He's got Tyron Woodley in his Showtime pay-per-view debut. People want to matchmake. What does Team Mayweather say to that?
Well, I say that anything is possible. We haven't had one discussion about Jake Paul, though. I'm just being honest. We hadn't had one discussion about him. Floyd's just really excited about Sunday night and giving the fans a great event on Sunday night.
I mean, he already has the legendary career in the whole 9 yards. 44 years old. He looks to be in pretty good shape. Not Manny Pacquiao shape, where he was for the Manny Pacquiao fight, but good shape. How long can he do this?
Floyd is different, and he's proven that. He's proven that, and he's been able to have the longevity that he's been able to do because he was always a thinking fighter. He was a smart fighter, but he's moved on to the other side now. He's the retired guy. So you have this.
He don't look that retired to me.
Yeah,
this is not very retired,
you
Leonard.
You have this incredible YouTube guy. Who's a podcaster, he's an actor with this gigantic following. He feels as though that he can inflict damage on Floyd Mayweather. And he's very confident about that. So we're going to see what's going to happen on Sunday night.
We certainly are. Your expectations for how long it goes? As long as Floyd wants it to go?
But I can guarantee you this. This will be one of the most entertaining events Floyd Mayweather's ever been involved in. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. I do want to ask one question. The Tenshin Nasukawa fight, for folks who may not know, Floyd went to Japan, this is long before the pandemic, and fought one of their legendary kickboxers there. And Floyd, if you've never seen the fight, demolishes him. Just ran him over.
He wiped the floor with him.
I thought he was going to let it go longer. Dude, he didn't.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy that you mention that because I don't think that was his intention.
Did he say anything in the head of time?
Listen, we were in the dressing room, and Floyd's always very relaxed, and he was looking just to go have some fun and entertain the Japanese fans, and I think it was like 20 or 30,000. I can't remember the number because it was New Year's Eve for them. So when he came out, it was just totally quiet, But the kid came out and. Maybe it was just something that just snapped, because, as they always say, all fighters are crazy, Maybe it was just something that just snapped. And all of a sudden, it was just like, whoa. And the first round, it was over. But I can guarantee you that wasn't his intention to do that.
That's crazy.
But he snapped. I can tell you that.
Short work. I
was like, whoa.
And Nasukawa is not a BS fighter. That's a real fight. He's He's a kickboxer. He's an MMA fighter. Does some boxing too. But
he was obviously a little smaller, but I don't know. Maybe it was the first couple punches that he threw that it was just like, and Floyd being a fighter, he just reacted, so same thing's probably going to happen on Sunday night.
They're telling us, Leonard, that we had Logan Paul's manager here, that maybe Logan might walk out with the gotcha hat. What do you make of that?
No, he don't have that hat.
You don't have that hat?
It's a mystery. It's a mystery, Leonard, because everyone claims they have it.
No. Floyd Mayweather has the hat.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So
he was lying to us then.
Of Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerbe. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you for spending some time with us.
I'm a big fan of both of you guys. And
You're a DC guy, right?
Yes,
Me
all
too.
day long.
Me too.
Hey, DMV
all day. DC or nothing.
That's right. I showed this to Jared Hurd. He didn't know what it was. Hold this.
Okay.
Leonard has the same thing on his backside. He's been repping a lot long than you.
Well, he's OG DC.
All right.
That's what he is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
nice to see you. Have fun on Sunday.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
She'll take care of you. Thank you so much. We are waiting for Floyd Mayweather. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, you can kind of see to my side, there's just a wall of humanity. There goes Leonard Ellerbe. He walked in front.
He's allowed to, Luke, okay? They own the place. It's TMT in the house.
Yeah. We're kind of guests here at the Versace. Apparently it's Versace. I did not know, but it's Versace Mansion
I'm not one
here in Miami.
to typically pronounce words correctly. So
Me neither.
I'm staying in my lane. There's a great Versace I got right here, Luke. All right.
Well. We are waiting. Apparently Floyd's going to be brought over here in just a few moments. He's talking to some of the other media that's here. You can imagine he is a gentleman in demand. But we are supposed to sit down with him here shortly. Jesus Christ, dude, I cannot get over how big a security is. Good Lord.
That would be a name you might need to summon if you try to take the hat.
Yeah. I can't believe he did that with these guys.
The temerity, as Luke Thomas would say.
That's a perfect use of the word, actually, finally.
You had to have the rightful, can we say cajones on cojones?
Yeah.
Can we say that on this network, Luke? To do that, as did Logan to accept this fight, as did Jake Paul to continue down this path. Going to take on Tyron Woodley in August on SHOWTIME pay-per-view. And, look, they're not seeking out opponents that we don't care about, Luke, okay? But the boxing world can say what it will. They're seeking out opponents that boxing world, the MMA world, the combat sports world in general knows well, cares about, wants to see in there against. So I'm interested in, in chatting with Floyd from the standpoint of this. Is this just another fight? I mean,
he looks like he's having the time of his life.
Does this feel like a victory lap? It's an precarious, it's an interesting spot to be in. I mean, yeah, Father Time's knocking, but Father Time's been knocking for a while on Floyd. Father Time may not get a ticket for Sunday night at Hard Rock Stadium there in Miami Gardens.
How long did how old was Bernard Hopkins when he retired? 50 what?
I believe it was 50, correct?
50 or 49,
or 50,
something like
right
that?
in that 49-50 window.
Big George took it to the deep 40s, Randy Couture, deep 40s. Like, there are a few of them that can do it.
Sent him through the ropes. I mean,
and here's the other part about Floyd when I was asking Leonard, like, how long can Floyd do this? Dude, Floyd is not, people can say what they want about the odds. He's not fighting high-level professional boxers. Conor McGregor is a real fighter in every way, but he's not a high-level professional boxer. And Tenshin Nasukawa is a high-level fighter, but not the kind we're talking about.
Well, look, he was a featherweight. He was,
kind of moonlighting.
He was 20 pounds smaller than Floyd in that fight.
Tenshin Nasukawa? Yes, but he was a real fighter.
Are we going to compare the real fight skills of Tenshin Nasukawa and Logan Paul? No, but it is hard to overlook 6'2", potentially 195, 200 pounds, an 8-inch reach. 8-inch height, 5'4" reach.
So Floyd's going to be going to the body, I suspect a lot. It's going to be interesting to see what Floyd does, like,
but we don't
movement in and out.
Right, because I don't say those numbers and those stats to be like, well, talk him into it. I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's got to punch his chance. It is what it is.
Mayweather's
in this
winning.
Matching in size and experience disparity between them. But it's just as we've talked about, and I'm sure Floyd, when he puts his pillow down on puts his head on the pillow at night, he realizes he's done the work just in case. He's going to have to go out there in the first 3 minutes.
You know what I'm looking forward to on Sunday? Before the fight. Scrolling through social media and seeing who is the person that put like $100,000 bet on Logan Paul to win. And because they would put down like whatever it was, 100 grand, 50K.
And what does it pay in this case? $5 million, Luke?
Orders of magnitude more than what you put down. That's gonna what is the biggest bet on Logan Paul winning outright? There's no judges, but I talking about, like, knocking Floyd out. How much would they gain with like a 100K deposit?
I was told there wouldn't be
generational wealth
on this show, Luke, but generational wealth sounds like a start. It sounds like a start.
Bankrupt the odds
makers. A good time
makers.
in Miami for a weekend sounds like a start, right?
You would bankrupt the odds makers with something like that. So we'll have to see. Again, we're just waiting for Floyd here. He's coming over here soon. He's going to sit with us.
I wouldn't say that loud though, Luke. We got to look from the bodyguards. You know, nobody waits for Floyd. Okay.
Well, I'm not physically sitting out of my seat.
You know, don't get out of line here with the champ.
I'm not.
We saw what happened there, but the champ is back on Showtime Sports. We remember the deal he signed in 2013, Luke, a 6-fight deal, landmark for the amount of money certainly at the time. He played that deal out, came back against Conor McGregor in 2017
Logan is only
on Showtime.
plus 500. That's what our producer in the ear is telling us.
I've seen plus 600, plus 660 for most of the past week for
I thought
Logan.
he'd be like plus 5,000.
I mean, it's wild because we've seen some very inflated boxing odds lately. You know, the Devin Haney, Jorge Linares fight we just saw was just wide in disparity, even though it had the chance to be competitive on paper. Are they inducing the bet traffic here? Probably. But Floyd minus 900, we're being told, is him as a favorite right now.
I honestly feel like that's underselling it big time.
You know, it's been interesting in his biggest fights against a Canelo or Manny Pacquiao that the interest in the B-side brought the Floyd odds down to almost record lows. If you're used to betting on Floyd Mayweather to win, which look 50 times, it's been a good bet. Those odds get closer against the higher the name that he's across from for that fight, certainly.
That sounds correct.
The champ is here, okay?
You're over here, Floyd. How are you? Here he comes. Greatest boxer of our generation, Floyd Mayweather.
I figured there would be one day in my life where I might be dressed nicer than you. One day. I mean,
Floyd, we actually have Versace robes on, and we're still not dressed as nicely as you.
I know you might blow your nose in this, but do I work it well, Floyd?
I like the Versace robe. I want to say thank you guys. I mean, we having fun. What else can I say?
Floyd, honestly, like no BS, I've covered your fights for a long time. This might be the happiest I've seen you on Fight Week.
No, I've always been happy. I had to be happy with the other fights because I made more money.
Fair enough. You made a ton of money with that one.
And then, you know, this pay-per-view is $50, but the other ones was $100 and a little bit higher.
What are you expecting for sales? You think you can hit 2 mil?
I don't know because so many people are, of course, still in events. So hopefully everything turns out great for this event. And I'm happy just to be a part of this event.
Floyd, I got to say, Conor McGregor, Tenshin Nasukawa, and now Logan Paul. Dude, you're making a killing fighting these guys after your decorated career.
Yes.
This is all, what is this, gravy for your life? How do you view this chapter of your life?
Well, okay, I guess the boxing was the mashed potatoes. And I guess these guys now is the gravy.
It's the gravy, okay.
Absolutely. So it's fun. And I was talking to the media. I was talking to the people, letting them know that, remember Floyd Mayweather, I retired from boxing, but I didn't retire for entertainment, and I didn't retire for making money. I guess they thought that since I stopped fighting, the top guys in the sport of boxing at my age, because remember, I retired at almost 40 years old. They thought that I was just gonna go home, kick my feet up, turn gray.
Get fat.
Get fat, pick up a bunch of weight. But I decided to still just have fun.
Well, also, you decided to be available should a check cashing opportunity come your way.
Yes.
I want to talk about the narrative.
Nothing wrong with check cashing. That's America.
Yes.
The narrative and the storyline for this one.
Yes.
When you look back at May 6th, the press conference at Hard Rock Stadium in Gotcha Hat, when Jake Paul, the brother of Logan Paul, kind of parachutes into the narrative here. We've never seen you that angry, Floyd. I've covered you a long time. You've always said, you can talk bad about me, just spell my name right in the story. I've never seen you that mad. Are you happy that that moment happened and what it could do for sales, or is it still getting you angry to think about?
Well, I'm not upset at all, but my thing is this: just as men, you as well as you, and I'm pretty sure both of you guys are married because I can see the rings.
Yes.
You guys have families, and there's a difference between respect and disrespect. They was untying my shoe, and my children's mother passed away last year, talking about her touching my hat. So it's all about reciprocation. Treat people like you want to be treated.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate, Floyd, because we were there for the Conor McGregor tour that you guys did in LA and Toronto. He said a lot of mean things.
But once again, Conor McGregor has something to do with this event. Jake Paul has nothing to do with this event.
But does this motivate you? Because people are trying to say, okay, maybe they're a boxing guy, they know Floyd. They think or they know Floyd's going to win, but they want to see the entertainment, the spectacle, how it happens. Can he land that lucky punch? Is any part of you, because of what happened on May 6th, a little bit more motivated to give it to them and just say, hey, Logan, man, you didn't cross me, but your brother did, you're going to have to pay? Because I don't see people getting away with crossing Floyd Mayweather.
I don't really worry about that. This is what I do because I don't worry about size, height, arm length, weight. Floyd Mayweather, I'm the best. This is what I do. I don't worry about no fighters. I don't worry about no hat because when there's fight time, I can fight.
How did you hear about Logan Paul?
John Shahidi, a guy that I deal with, he's a social media guy. And John Shahidi brother, Sam Shahidi. I was working with these guys for years, and a couple times, I think that John was managing, I think Logan and Jake, something like that. And then I heard their name a couple times, but I didn't really know who these guys were until my guys from Japan was upset, said that Logan Paul disrespected their country.
Right, with that YouTube video.
And I still didn't know who the guys was. I heard their names from a close friend of mine in Japan. And then Solomon, a guy from Famio, said he was speaking to a friend of mine, Sean, and talked about putting an exhibition together. I didn't really know him. And then they showed me his page. They said he got these many followers. I said, let's do it.
Are your kids, are they fans of his?
My daughter, my youngest daughter, she does YouTube.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure she knows Logan Paul.
But not like that.
I don't really know him.
Floyd, I want to stay with this narrative because Leonard Ellerbe, your longtime friend and partner in this game, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, he said he's never seen a fight promotion in which you're playing the baby face, if we could steal a pro wrestling term. You've been the heel by accident. You've been the heel on purpose when you needed to sell things. You've always controlled the narrative. Are you fighting for boxing in a sense? Do you feel like you're the hero going into this one?
I don't really want to say the hero. I just want to have fun. I'm going to go out there and do what I do best. He's banking on his height. He's banking on his reach. So we'll just see.
Are you staying in shape? Like, to what extent are you look physically fit, but, you know, the devil's in the details. How are you living these days in terms of your physical fitness?
I'm in good shape. You guys will see.
So we heard a little birdie. A little birdie told us that you had trained for the Conor McGregor fight, but not really trained.
Not like really
Like you got
trained.
in shape for it, but you didn't really.
They'll talk.
And then you still went in there and you stopped him. So we're kind of wondering like what the situation is today.
Same thing, kind of trained a little bit here and there. Not every day, but I don't have to.
Leonard Ellerbe was saying if y'all wanted to run it back, you and Conor, that you'd be completely down. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. He's easy.
What is the beef? Because we were there in Vegas when you guys were arm in arm and sharing.
The beef is all these guys look up to me, steal my blueprint, and then get to hating on me. Whereas Logan Paul and Jake Paul, if I'm not mistaken, they was going to John Shahidi asking, oh, can Floyd train us? Can Floyd work with us? I never knew who these guys were. But the fight is here now. I can't wait.
Did you watch Logan Paul's fight against KSI, the other YouTuber? Did you even take a look at it?
No.
No?
I don't really. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen,
nothing.
I don't really know Jake or Logan Paul.
So what makes you called it on the Showtime special, you called it legalized bank robbery.
Yes.
Why that term?
I'm fighting a YouTuber who thinks he's a real fighter. And I'm getting crazy money for it. I've already made $30 million just
for this fight.
I mean, just building up to the fight, just a build up, and I've already made $30 million.
I mean, this is a commercial right here. This suit might cost more than my robe. Look at these. This is.
I was backstage at the Howard Theater when an ESPN reporter asked how much you made for the Canelo fight. Your guarantee, you told him $40 million. That was the guarantee, the upfront. You got much more on the back end. That was the up. That was
a grown man trying to ask about money here.
Hold on. How much are you gonna make for this one? Tell us, Floyd.
I don't really know. I mean,
what's your base?
even if we make a couple more, even if I made $50 million. That's not bad for a guy that's retired.
That's great work.
I saw the $100 million check from the Pacquiao fight. I saw that thing.
So between, I mean, just with the Pacquiao and the Canelo, that was like with those two fights, that was 650. And then with the Canelo fight add-on, that was 750 in 3 fights.
That's insane. How long can you do this, Floyd? You feel good, you look good. Let's say you win dominantly on Sunday, which is the odds expectation. Several more years? Like, what's the?
I mean, this is not real. This is not a real fight for me. This is a real fight for him. This is not a real fight for me.
Okay, but he has. If you stretch him, that's expected. I'm not saying he's going to stretch you. I think you're going to win quite comfortably. But if a miracle happened, you have something to lose.
I'm still undefeated. I'm still.
The devil's in the details, right there.
The great thing about this, I'm still 50-0.
Because it doesn't count on your professional record,
Absolutely not.
That is. You have worked this to an unbelievable degree. So you're confident you could do this for a little while longer if you wanted to.
It's possible.
Floyd, I want to ask quick about legacy because when you were in the peak of your game, us in the boxing media, we were hard on you. Maybe you didn't fight the guys in the order that somehow we wanted. You never took it personal, but we were hard on you. Now as you've been away,
I think he took it personal.
Your legacy is getting like a fine wine, is just aging. What did people miss during your run? What did I miss when I was saying, when I would come out and write those columns?
Well, I didn't fight the guys. I fought everybody.
Yeah, you went on to fight everybody. I'm saying it, but
so if
my
thing is this.
I'm not endorsing this.
Let me get this right. So if I don't fight a fighter when you want me to fight him,
I'm not saying we were right. That's the point. I'm saying we may have been wrong, but what did we miss in that moment? Because we look back on your record, there's no holes.
I just want to know who I didn't fight.
People love to say things like Margarito. They have to rehash that.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that was cheating.
I'm not saying.
So tell the public, a guy Antonio Margarito.
I like the energy though. I like the energy.
No, let's talk. A guy Antonio Margarito wanted to fight me extremely bad.
No,
then let's tell the world.
I side with you on this. Ultimately.
No.
I'm not really,
And then come to find out, ladies and gentlemen, this guy was cheating. He was fighting with a cast inside his glove. This is a guy that you was behind, that you thought I was scared of. And then you know what happened? When they caught him cheating in the locker room, he got knocked out by Shane Mosley.
He was never the same.
That same night. And then Shane Mosley's next fight, I beat him.
Do you feel the love? Because I think your legacy is just getting stronger by the day. And
no. Tell me about some more fighters that you said I didn't fight.
Well, I said some things back then.
Well, tell me.
Well, then you fought Manny. So you were like, take that. Then you fought Maidana twice.
So hold on. So let me get this right. Who's older?
You win in the end.
Answer the question.
Yeah.
Who's older? I'm 2 years older than Manny Pacquiao, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's 42.
Okay. And I'm 44, right? I beat Manny Pacquiao so easy.
I can't
8 rounds to 4, something like that.
8-4 was the deal. Yeah.
That wasn't even 8. Don't say no 8-4. 10-2.
He disarmed him. I didn't see a shoulder injury. He disarmed him.
Are you surprised?
And guess what? They always got an excuse. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, my shoulder. But let's run it back. If we run it back, guess what he's gonna do? Have another excuse. So give me another fighter.
Well, I would have liked to see Paul Williams. I wanted to see welterweight Paul Williams against you, but you can't have it all. Okay, you can't have it all. All right?
It could have happened, but it didn't. And I like Paul Williams. He had a bad accident, a hell of a fighter, and a great guy. And I take my hat off to him and his family.
I mean, Floyd, but that's the point. In the end, you gave it to boxing fans. So are you surprised at the way some people still look at you? Because you're still giving to boxing fans right now. They're going to tune in Sunday night and be entertained.
I'm just very appreciative for all the people around the world that supported me. I was the guy, I was with HBO at one particular time, even though I know we own Showtime. I'm allowed to speak from the heart and speak the truth. I was with HBO, and I came over to Showtime and made them the A side. That's what Floyd Mayweather was able to do in the sport of boxing. Floyd Mayweather was able to come in the sport of boxing when it was all about heavyweights and let all the little guys make crazy money.
We got the real emotion. This is the real stuff right now, okay?
He's fired up. I understand it. I'm not mad at him.
I'll fall on the sword to bring out the real Floyd.
Yeah, okay, you did it. Yes. You call down the thunder. Don't be surprised what you get.
Logan Paul is going to have a chance to see that thunder Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Showtime pay-per-view. You get the final word. What can fans expect when you two touch gloves?
I want the fans to tune in. If you watch it right now, come to Miami. Have fun. beautiful yachts, beautiful beaches, beautiful water, a beautiful city. These two guys sitting next to me.
Beautiful robes.
Beautiful Versace robes.
Beautiful skin complexion with the
Man,
sweat.
I'll see you guys Sunday. Let's have a ball. Buy pay-per-view right now.
Floyd, we thank you so much for your time. We know you're a busy man. Congratulations on everything you got so far.
Everybody in the end, you just fought us. Thank you, Floyd. Great chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Floyd. And enjoy on Sunday. We can't wait to see what happens. There we have it.
Not every day you can sit down at a pool, Luke, with the great Floyd Mayweather.
No,
here,
not
okay?
every day.
So,
so I think that's it for us for the moment. We have 3 minutes left. Thank you, Floyd. Take care.
we'll give you a round 12 here, final round here, Luke. Let's bring it, okay? We've been
Floyd,
putting the bow.
TKO round 1 over Brian Campbell.
Look, I love it. I love the confidence. I love the graciousness. This is grandfather Floyd. Congratulations to him on the birth of his first grandchild. Like, this is a wiser, smarter Floyd. He's beaten the game in every possible. I mean, what else can you do at this point but say congratulations?
And he's sent you to hell.
And he did. That he did, Luke.
He did that. Well, we want to thank everyone who watched this. Remind everyone, the pay-per-view is not on Saturday. It is on Sunday. It'll be at 8 p.m. And, of course, I think you can go to showtime.com/pay-per-view. You can see the URL, or even just SHO.com/pay-per-view. You can order the pay-per-view there. Again, Chad Ochocinco won the card. He wasn't here, but we did have Jared Swift-Hurd.
Jared Swift-Hurd against Luis Arias. You're going to have
Badu Jack's on the card.
Jack. It's going to be good theater, Luke. 8 p.m. Eastern, Showtime pay-per-view, Miami Gardens, Hard Rock Stadium. So it's, I mean, he knows about the truth.
Wow. I called game. I called bank.
Paul Pierce.
There he is.
Paul Pierce, come on.
Hey, come have a seat, Paul Pierce.
Come on.
Come have a seat.
We got it here, okay?
There he is. Paul Pierce just came over
Get
here.
the wheelchair. Let's get him back over here, okay? Come on.
He's huge. Dude, he's not even as big as some of the security.
No, I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm
all right, so there's a face-off happening. We're going to go to it right there. It is.
There's bragging rights right there.
This is how I order at McDonald's every time.
See the height differential there. 6'2", Logan Paul, 28 years old.
Damn.
Sorry, 26.
It's actually a good face-off. In the era of COVID, and I understand it, they had to keep people separated and whatever, but
no, this is the real stuff.
This, you miss a good face-off when you don't get one.
You're welcome, Logan. I dialed Floyd up. Okay, he's ready. He's ready.
That's a great shot.
What's it going to look like, Luke, when they do touch gloves? That's what the people are going to pay to see.
Floyd's going to take his time and then stop him whenever he wants. Probably. I don't know.
Or is there a puncher's chance? Will we see something we didn't expect?
Floyd stepped to him. This is fun. And you can see Floyd's entourage and Logan's entourage. He is everywhere. Milton LaCroix, he's everywhere. Once again, he's there in the picture. That's a long face-off.
Is that you too?
So usually the way it works is if you have a sanctioned event, you have to have a promoter in between them.
That's a stalemate. That face-off was a stalemate.
Yeah.
Take what you will, Luke Thomas, from that face-off.
Yes, let's extrapolate the significance of that in the worst way imaginable.
Right there.
Yeah, dude. This is a good shot of the media representation that we were referencing before. It's significant.
Logan Paul is confident. He's ready for this stage. But one thing I wrote about this week, Luke, is that confidence more of a danger to him than it is for Floyd. We're going to find out Sunday night.
There we have it. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Two more handsome men in front of the camera.
Just as a reminder, that's Brian Campbell. I'm Luke Thomas. We're from CBS Sports, sometimes Showtime, sometime in Versace robes, not all the time. We host a show called Morning Combat. It is a Showtime product. It's a CBS product. We debate the news and analysis around boxing and mixed martial arts every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live at 11 a.m. in the East, youtube.com/Morning Combat with a K.
Absolutely, your source for combat sports. And obviously this fight has been a big part of our coverage this week that we will continue to provide with Saturday's weigh-in stream.
Let's tee that up. So at Saturday, the weigh-ins, I believe they're going to be at 5 p.m., but I got to double
5 p.m. Eastern will be the start of our stream.
It'll be me, Brian Campbell, and then Brendan Schaub will be joining us. I think we're going to be at the desk. I'm not sure about that.
If Paul Pierce walks by that desk, I'm pulling him in. I'll tell you that
Paul
much.
Pierce has got to get in here because he was a
Floyd,
short-lived Washington
Logan,
Wizard.
Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson on the scales as well. We're still bodies moving. Large sums of bodies are moving here. Post.
All right, so we think everyone has left. Yeah, it looks like everyone's left. Media is now filing out. I don't know about UBC. I've been seeing people drink really delicious-looking refreshments.
Yes.
I would like one.
I would like a refreshment right now. I would like a full body.
So let's do this. We had a great time today. We talked to Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather, Jared Hurd, Milton LaCroix, the manager of Logan Paul, Leonard Ellerbe, so many others. So go back and forth through this video if you catch it after the fact. To those who watch live, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We will be back, BC, as I bumble this, on Saturday, 5 p.m. in the East, right here. Me, Brian Campbell, Brendan Schaub, getting you ready and walking you through the weigh-ins for Mayweather versus Paul.
You can check out our final episode of Morning Combat. The traditional one will be Friday. Check it out, youtube.com/Morning Combat. We'll have our final breakdown and preview of the fight. Maybe get some more interviews with those in attendance there. That's right after the undercard press conference Friday morning. Can't wait, Luke. Sunday night, bragging rights. Somebody's taking an L, Luke, okay? Somebody's going to come away with big-time bragging rights. We've never seen an event like this before.
All right. For Brian Campbell, I'm Luke Thomas. Thanks to everyone at Malka, Showtime, and CBS Sports. We'll talk to you guys on Saturday, and until then, may all of your gains be loyal.
There he is, the pound-for-pound king in the sport of boxing. When Floyd Mayweather fights, it is a spectacle.
Got your hat. Got your hat. My brother, bro. Got your fucking hat.
When your idols become your rivals, that shit sucks. I'm looking at Floyd in his beady little eyes at the press conference, and I'm like, this is one of the greatest boxers of our generation. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him.
You got the once defeated versus the undefeated. I go online, yo, you're gonna get your fucking ass beat. You're gonna die in the ring. Yo, the motto for this fight is fuck everyone. Pro ass fight against the best fighter on the planet. Suck my dick.